Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 205 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast. Yes, those awesome voices. First and foremost, Mr. Chaos Reaper, aka Hilberto. What is up, sir?
Woo! Nothing. Just more quarantine here in this side of Florida. Of course, it's all across Florida, but it's beside the point.
Not in all of Florida, unfortunately, but yes.
Because people aren't following it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
True that.
Hey, listen. A wise woman once says, "This plague is the great equalizer." So I don't know what I mean about that, or I know what I mean about that. We are calling the stupids. If you don't,
Okay.
if you cannot maintain a decent quarantine as is expected of you, if you're still going out, out the house and getting yourself and put yourself at risk and putting your your family and friends and God knows who else at risk, then I'm not gonna continue because I might need to get banned. I'm afraid that I will, but you know where this is headed.
And that guy, Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister, about to get banned from his own group. What's up, sir?
Don't be stupid, guys. Don't be breaking no quarantines. Stay at home. There's no reason to go outside. I mean, get the sun or whatever.
Essentials. No, I mean, you need to get essentials.
And like going out and partying. I had to go out last night yesterday to get some essentials. Obviously, I don't want to run out on anything too soon. So and I go and I stopped to eat at McDonald's. I got something, and while I was waiting, there was this group there was like 5 or 6 people on a corner just chilling, just all of them guys that were just like being loud and like pushing each other and just be like, wild and crazy guys, and I was like, stupid idiots. This is the problem with Florida. This is the problem that we're having right now. This is why
it's not just Florida, but yes, primarily Florida, but not or it feels like. I guess we're in Florida. That's probably why we see it more than anything else. But it's not just in Florida, unfortunately.
People are not taking this thing seriously, and if they think this is extended spring break. And I got this for you. If this keeps going, we're gonna be here for
it's gonna be extended summer break. It's what it's gonna be.
That's what it's gonna be, exactly. How do you like not being able to go to the beach, huh?
Yeah, exactly. If there's one thing I will say, and I don't really want to make too much light of what's going on. I mean, you know what I mean. I don't want to really talk about it since the show really isn't about that. But if you do go out, and you see someone who needs some assistance, obviously they're taking care of themselves. Also, don't be jerks. You know what I mean? My son actually went out to the Walmart here, where I'm not too far from my house, and there's this woman, older woman, Asian woman. She had a mask. She was just needing some assistance, and she was asking several different people hey, can you go grab me one of those carts? Can somebody assist me? I just need someone to grab me a car. And everyone was kind of just shunning and kind of moving away. And she asked Nick, and Nick really didn't hear, and he just kind of saw what was going on, but he didn't really hear. And then he pulled off his earbud, and then she was like, "Oh, it's like I promise, I've been tested. I just need one of those carts." And he went and he went. Yeah. He went. He grabbed it. And he was like, "Did you need anything else?" She's like, "No, I can get it from here and all this." But it really messed up. It really messed with him. He came back and he was just like, he was destroyed. He's like, "Man, I can't believe people are acting this way." And I get it. You know what I mean? Obviously, you need to be careful with everything, but at the same time, there are those who need help. Let's not be jerks either. On top of all that, you know what I mean. So
you can have a head on your shoulder still.
I agree. And
I mean, pandemic or no, you shouldn't be a dick.
No, that's exactly true. Let's start with that. Yeah.
The lesson of the day, guys: don't be a dick.
Don't be
Don't
a
be a
dick.
Don't
dick.
be a
All right.
dick. You know,
Be kind. Rewind. Oh wait.
Rewind.
yes,
Do
from
people
the
even
old
know what that
blockbuster
means?
days.
Do people even know what that means?
They probably don't at this point. Do you remember cassettes? Dear Lord, cassettes used to
Hell yeah.
be
There's one in Doom Eternal,
There is
the
one. There's quite a
and it's
few. Yeah.
labeled Doom/Doom Eternal.
nice,
There's
nice.
quite a few.
Oh man. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. First and foremost, if you guys can, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join
Dot
the conversation
rocks.
there. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is first we go into what we've been up to, move on into some various news items, and then finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's
This
hot
week hot
topic:
Hot
topic.
topic.
let's talk crunch. As you know, guys, crunch is a normal thing at this point in the gaming industry, and it has come back up again recently with some articles regarding Naughty Dog and practices and stuff like that. So, um, and it's it becomes a question is like what is what's the line, where do you draw
Mhm.
the line as far as what you can't what you can and can't expect from your developers. And so we'll go into a little bit because the article kind of feels one sided, and I feel like there's always more than one side to every story. So we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. So let's start first with what we've been up to, Mister David Santos. What have you been doing, sir?
I have been chosen. No, let's see. This has been the week of nothing but Doom, and we're gonna talk about Doom.
We're definitely gonna be talking
And
about Doom
oh,
tonight.
yeah, we're gonna be talking about about Doom. This pandemic has us Doom. No, no. Of course, I'm talking about Doom Eternal. Is the game that I have been the only game that I've been actually playing all this time. I love that game. I can't say enough good things about that about it. I do recognize the experience is a little bit different. I feel like they had the base, the Doom 2016. They did a fantastic job with that game, and now they feel you, you know that feeling of now we have to make something extra. We got to add something to it. We got to turn it to 11 now. Or if Doom 2016 was at 11 already, well, I have to turn it to 13. What can we add? What can we do? Well, let's add platforming elements. Sure, why not? And let's add weapons of the wazoo. Where you have a shoulder mounted cannon, which I barely use, or I started using now because I just remembered that, oh shit, yeah, I'm supposed to use that also. You also have the grenades and just a bunch of things that were added that it's not that it's bad. It's just it feels a little overwhelming and a little bit more like you have to be a little bit more strategic with it.
Hmm.
If it, with all the every encounter that you have right now, you have to know you have to know how to manage your hit point or your health bar, your ammunition definitely, especially on the early hours of the game. uh, you have to know how to balance that properly. Whereas in 2016 Doom, yeah, there was a little bit of that, but it really felt like you could just maul the demons down. You didn't have to think about it too much. Now, granted, I did up the difficulty on this one because of the description. The description was, or if you're experiencing first-person shooters, this is the equivalent of hard mode. What is it called again? Um,
Is it a nightmare?
What, the ultraviolence?
Ultraviolence. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
I always want to call it nightmare. Uh, a- and and of course that's gonna make each encounter be a little bit more brutal, in the sense that you have to be ready to die probably a lot. Um, but but still, I feel like even without that, I feel like you still need to be thinking a little bit more with this game, whereas the previous Doom didn't matter that much. All you had to do was just shoot the demons down, glory kill a few of them, so you could get more your headpad or
And chainsaw at
chainsaw.
least one of them.
Yeah, chainsaw at least one of them, so you have ammunition, so you can continue, destroying fools. And there was not a lot of emphasis on lore either, so you didn't have to think a lot, on anything. Honestly, it just felt like the game where you just shut your brain down and just like went with it. So that said, I am having a lot of fun with it. Still, I am taking it very slowly. Like each stage will last me an entire day. Not that I'm
Holy hell,
not,
man!
not that I'm not, let me clarify. I'm not playing for an entire day. What I'm trying to say is that I try to beat a level a day, and then that's it. I don't need, because that level could last me at least like 2 hours of game time, because I'm exploring, because or honestly because the area is fucking hard, and I find myself having to repeat, okay, because I keep dying.
My wife
Uh,
is gorgeous. She got me a drink.
oh, that's
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Here's
What's
to
up, Miss
awesome
Piper?
vibes.
Love you.
And she's not gonna hear you.
No, 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 no. She's not gonna hear you guys.
so uh so what else? What
Cheers,
else?
gentlemen. Sorry,
Cheers,
Cheers.
I
sir.
interrupted you like that.
Cheers.
Sorry,
I
I
didn't grab
interrupted you
any
like that.
drink. I gotta bring something. I'm not gonna bother me, Santos. So yeah, no, I'm definitely having a good time with it. And I don't feel like I need to play anything else, right now. I'm definitely gonna take my time with this one, because I really like the exploring the levels.
Mhm.
Not to, not that I will be surprised with anything that I find, because honestly, you kind of know what you have to look like. I think the map, even at some point, you get power ups that tell you basically where stuff are, and all you do is just collecting. But I do enjoy that aspect. I do enjoy trying to go after the things, and doing those special challenges that are fucking pain. Oh my god! But it feels
Oh,
so good when you beat them.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, yeah. There's only one that the game even told me, um, you might want to come back on this one, later on. Just like the game literally tells you, like, you might want to keep playing and then just come back.
Wait, which one was that one? Because I don't
Uh,
recall any warnings like that. Because
I mean, I died several times on this challenge. The one I'm talking about, right? When you get the key that you open this section, this special
to me, those were the easier ones. The ones that gave me a harder time was the ones that were on the level itself.
oh, like the ones that
Yeah,
okay,
he
yeah,
the
the ones that
little
are just around that when you rip the whatever
yeah,
it is that
yeah,
you rip and
whatever that
stuff.
he's ripping out of that art
Yeah.
altar looking thing.
Oh, but those are just time. Those I find those are hard. Yeah, those are hard, but they're harder because they're time rather than because they're super difficult.
Oh
Because
no, that was
if,
that was one that killed me like 6 times in a row.
yeah, yeah, but you're always trying to do it because it gives you a timer, right? So you're always trying
Yeah.
to either you have to not only kill the demons, but you have to do it in a certain amount of time because otherwise they just disappear and you fail and you have to redo it again.
Well, the
Uh,
the hard part of it is that it doesn't whatever you use, it doesn't get replenished.
oh, right, that sucks. Yeah, especially when you lose lives on it, the lives that you have gotten throughout the stage, and then suddenly you lose them too. That's why I leave those things for last, like
Oh,
before I go into at the end of each stage, before you complete the stage, it gives you the option of fast traveling
I
to a
love that
location.
addition. I
I
love
super
that
love that.
addition. That was so
Absolutely,
smart. So
absolutely,
goddamn smart.
absolutely. I love. I super love that idea because it gives me the opportunity to go back, because it gives me the opportunity to skip this for now, and then maybe on the same level I could get stronger. you know, and and then tackle the challenge. No, but the challenge that I'm talking about are the ones that are behind the door, and you have to grab this huge key that
The
to
Slayer
open it.
gates.
Yeah, the Slayer gates. And once you go in, it teleports you into like a different arena, and those are difficult for the most part bec- because they are long. Like you're constantly having an adrenaline, high for like minutes upon minutes upon minutes. And you're like, damn it, when is it gonna end? When is it gonna end? And then when you finally, kill the last demon, and sometimes it'll be just like a freaking grunt, but because you're so hyped up and you want to make sure you don't die because you're almost like two shots, two touches away from being killed and having to restart all over, that the little grunt becomes a boss fight almost because you just want to make sure you don't fuck up somehow. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I was close. I was close to dying, and but yeah, once you pass that, it's just it's so good. I don't think you get anything in particular other than maybe just be able to at the end when you beat the level, it just says that you completed all the challenges or whatever.
No, you
But
get a
it's
key.
still so good. Oh, you get. Oh, that's right. That's what you
You
call it.
get a
You
key.
getting
Yeah.
you're getting the keys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, I yeah, man. I am completely in it. Honestly, I haven't watched or seen anything because all my time that I can spend on it, I try to put it in this game. So if you guys want to run with it and continue, by all means.
All right, Mister Chaos. We're speaking of Doom, so by all means, if you want to continue from
I'll
there.
carry on. I cleared my first run. I shared a picture on the group, and that's a screenshot that I took after you finish the game. Which I know looks like just like, oh look, it's a Doom Eternal logo. Like no, that's the logo that you get at the end. All right. I didn't play it on what's the difficulty you're playing on? I played it on normal. Just hurt me playing it because I would.
Nightmare. No,
Yeah, no,
ultra
it's
violence. Ultra
ultra
violence.
violent.
Yeah.
I did my first playthrough on Hurt Me Plenty, so I could get familiar with the game and the levels and all the different demons and whatnot. I loved it. Even the platforming. Yeah, I didn't love the platforming. There were some parts of the platform that were annoying, but it didn't bother me
Yeah.
as much as some other people I
Yeah,
know.
no. To be fair, when I criticize it, I find them annoying, but it's in an annoying in the sense of, man, everything else is so fucking good in this game that I wish it didn't really have to deal with this because it slowed things down. It is kind of a pain, but in no way it makes it like it's not a terrible thing. They're
No,
surmountable.
it made to me it made the exploration more fun. I'm not gonna lie. Every time like you cling to a wall, you start looking around. Is there a secret? Is there a
I can
secret
see
here?
that. I can see that.
Is there something underneath me? No, no. And you jump down to your death just because to make sure that there's nothing there.
Yeah, I do
Um,
that too.
yeah, I cleared the game. Like I said, I picked every single collectible. I had upgraded every single gun before I hit the last boss. I did
Jesus
all
Christ.
the challenges. I picked up all the albums. I'm missing one cheat code, and that goddamn cheat code is inside the ship. I don't know how to get to it. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. I know which
Did
one you're
you
talking
did you get it?
I
about.
think I think it's time
No,
to
no,
it's
no,
time
I have
to,
not.
to whip
But
out the game fact or something because
yeah,
at that point you have proven yourself. You don't
Yeah.
have to do anything else.
I keep looking like I see a pathway that
Uh-huh.
that will you can see like the hole where you fall down to grab it. So I'm like, all right, so if I follow the pipes because I'm like pulling Jurassic Park here. If I follow the pipes, maybe I can get to it. It didn't work. Okay, I didn't get it. It's still there, staring at me,
Oh.
haunting me. I did like the lore. I really did enjoy, but even in Doom 2016, I was enjoying the lore that was being presented. Like I understand the main character doesn't care for it. I understand a lot of the fans don't care for the lore, but I like lore, so I literally read every little bit of info the game presented to me.
Yeah.
I read
Oh, I
every
am
little.
too.
Oh, I read everything about the guns, about the demons, about the places, about the history, everything. It was great. I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with it. So I even jumped into the multiplayer. Oddly enough, I didn't play as the Slayer because I knew everybody was going to, so I just jumped straight into a demon. And Zibby, of all people, told me to use the Mancubus.
The Mancubus.
So yeah, that's the big fat guy with the two
Yeah,
launchers on its arm that also has a flamethrower.
yeah.
So I burn a lot of Slayers to a crisp with that flamethrower, sir. Let me tell you this right now. I
Feels good,
think
doesn't it?
I'm pretty sure. I think I've lost like 3 out of the 25 games I played.
Damn. All right. So
It's
that's okay. So that's Mancubus needs to be nerfed.
yeah. I
Patterson
mean, uh,
1.2.
I'm not sure that multiplayer is gonna live for long. Because it's I don't know. I don't think the game lends itself well to a multiplayer like that.
Is it an asynchronous multiplayer? Is that what it is?
A what?
The one where you have one person versus like five or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah, okay.
it's
Evolve.
a 2v1. It's a two
Like
v one.
evolve. Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
two
Okay.
demons versus the Slayer. I have fought a
Oh,
few Slayers that like marked me. Like I said, I lost a couple of games, and when I lost. It wasn't close. That dude wrecked me, or us, because it was
he
two of
was
us.
the he was the
he
Doom
is the
Slayer.
Doomslayer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I fought. I've had other like demon partners that were absolute garbage, and I literally had to hide for 20 seconds before they spawn back in. Because that's the
Demon
thing, right?
partner.
If you die and you wait 20 seconds, you'll respawn as long as the other one's still alive. And there was this one guy, I remember this fight just because it was so hilarious. Every time that the other one died, I was so far that the Slayer had no idea where I was. So I'm like with my fat ass sitting on the ground, just like, well, I'm going to wait 20 seconds right here. We actually won that game.
Nice.
Um, but and I did, it was a couple of levels where I missed some collectibles. So I went back and I turned on all of the cheat codes, all the ones that I had.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That is wild. All right.
Really?
You're running super fast all the time. All your weapons are doing all this crazy damage. You have infinite ammo.
Yeah, I mean, one of the cheat codes is one shot, one kill, right?
I didn't even have that at the time. I didn't
Oh.
need it. Okay. I didn't need it. It was it made everything it didn't nothing mattered. All right. The whole idea is that I was there for collectibles. Every encounter was just in my way to my collectible. And you
Yeah.
would just clear it. Even the platforming became nothing. Because you jump and you jump so far, instead of going through like two platforms, you just jump from here to where you have to go. And
Yeah.
that's it.
That's awesome.
So I had a great time with the game. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World recently. I yes, I jumped back into that. I hit master rank. What was I think I'm saying that right? Master rank 100 finally. Currently, I'm like 116. Which when you hit 99, you gotta have to clear a quest, which is you gotta fight Ruiner Nergigante to get to
Jesus Christ,
100.
dude.
Yeah, that
How many hours does your day have? Because you grind several games at once. You beat games in less time than anybody, and somehow
I
you still have a social life.
honestly, what social life?
Oh, that's true.
And
There
what
you
is
What
your answer?
what is that?
go. There you go.
Let's just say I'm probably putting in like 12 hours a day.
Holy crap. Well,
So
I guess it pays. Yeah. I guess you don't see. I would never be able to get away with that because my wife would not would not allow it.
well, you see, the
And
12 hours I put it into like 3 different games. My wife is putting into Animal Crossing.
yeah, I guess that's the thing. I should actually get my wife. Hey, honey, do you want to play Animal Crossing?
You want to try Animal Crossing?
Let me get it for you. You'll see.
So, so there's been a lot of gaming going on around here lately. I think the only TV that we've watched was a little bit of Castlevania season 3. We watched like 3 or 4 episodes.
Ooh, how was that?
Actually, before this podcast.
Ooh.
Yes, because I had tacos today, so we're watching
And
Castlevania
I'm
with
watching
tacos.
right now. I'm seeing the your wife posted the drinks that she made, and I am super jealous.
That's Polish vodka with orange juice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I have to. We're gonna have to take a quick break and be right back.
Huh? Oh. Oh, that's pineapple. I can't tell. Vodka's the vodka's. Oh no, I'm sorry. Correction. It's pineapple juice.
Oh, it's right up. Oh, okay.
It looks too orange to me. I thought it was orange juice.
I added cherry juice.
Oh, she added cherries, and there
Oh,
they are at the bottom.
That's there you go.
Yeah,
Tell that.
very
that's the
nice.
secret. That's the secret. It's
That
cherry.
looks amazing. Yeah, yeah, very good,
It
very good
tastes
drink.
delicious.
Oh, I bet you bastard.
So so yeah. So as I was saying, I hit master rank 100. I
Uh,
I've been grinding the guiding lance, which is anyone that's played Monster Hunter World Iceborne knows what the guiding lance are. I don't know if you guys know what that is. No, no. It's you can say no. You can say no, Dream. It's okay.
Okay. No, I don't
Okay.
know.
So the guiding lance is basically this one map that has all of the ecosystems in it. There's a place that's snow. There's a place that the volcanic region, the coral region, the rotted veil region, and the forest is the largest region, which is and you basically
Hey,
get an endless stream of monsters.
hey, Mad Dog. Is he talking about Warframe again?
No, he's still talking about Monster Hunter
Oh, okay. All right.
I,
All
I
right.
haven't mentioned Warframe.
World.
I
All right.
will.
Sorry.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's gonna get mentioned at least.
Oh, okay. All right. It is to at least one per episode.
Of
we need to
course,
hear.
of course, I
That's the
played it.
contract that we have
As a matter
with.
of fact, let me throw it in just now. I played a little bit of Warframe. I kind of
There
jumped
you
in,
go. All right. We're
did a
our
couple of
meeting.
daily things, and got out.
There you go. We met our quota for Warframe people.
For what I've done for the yes. Yeah, all I did was basically complete a forma and then did a couple of missions. Oh, I did help my brother in Warframe. I got him into Warframe.
There you go. That's helping, huh?
Yeah, I'm spreading the stigma slowly but surely. So the Guiding Lance, you get this endless stream of monsters, and you keep hunting them, whether you want to capture them or kill them, doesn't matter. And you get all these different parts. You can craft layered armors out of it. You can either turn those items into items that you can use to craft the actual armor. And after you get to Master Rank 100, you start getting tempered Elder Dragons. And I'm not even. This is what I feel is already the end game. I fought the Silver Ratalos, which is it's by my alone. It must be insanely hard. With a group, it's slightly less. It's a little bit easier, but
For
I mean,
those of you listening that noise in the background, that is the sound of glassy eyes. The sound that glassy eyes make. Continue, please.
wow.
Sir, continue. Don't listen to him.
Okay, that's how Mad Dog feels when you start talking about graphics cards and CPUs.
Oh,
And
I knew it. I knew
Pretty
it.
much.
Hold
I
that.
knew it. I knew it.
So anyway,
guys are
needless
so
to say, I've been having a lot of fun with Reckless and Dark playing Monster Hunter World. We've hunted a lot of things. They added all of the previous event quests yesterday until April something. I think it's the beginning of April. I don't really remember because I just saw April and moved on. Like, oh, but I'm probably gonna be done with that before that. And so anybody that's playing Monster Hunter World, obviously not Dream. You have all the event quests available. There's a Tempered Sinogre that is dropping between 6 to 8 rank 4 decorations. It's a Tempered Sinogre. It's a bitch to kill. Good luck. It's still doable. That's pretty much what I've been up to. Yeah, I haven't even touched Apex this week.
Oh shit!
snap.
Okay,
Oh,
there
wow.
you go. Well, it got mentioned, so
Yeah,
He got
you're
mentioned
still-
that he did not touch it.
yeah.
that's
I
fine.
did
It needs to
play
be.
Apex.
It was the only thing I haven't heard in a while is Final Fantasy 14. I'm a little worried,
Oh,
but
dude, I'm taking a hiatus on that currently.
Oh, you're re-quarantine. You're social distancing yourself from Final Fantasy 14. Okay.
I need to go back. I really do. I gotta finish that damn expansion. Which honestly, it's not that it's bad. It's just that I've been caught up with a whole bunch of other things.
I need you to tell me about the expansion with Nier Automata, with the chick for 2B.
Oh man, yeah. Oh Jesus Christ, you serious?
Yeah,
There's
I
a
need
lot of guys. There's a lot of guys walking around with 2B's outfit. How does that sound?
that sounds very
That sounds typical.
disgusting.
Because they
Sounds
removed.
typical of gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that
had it.
sounds like a Wednesday.
They had it gender locked, I think, or first they didn't. Then they had it gender locked, and then everybody got pissed, so they removed the gender lock again.
That's so stupid.
Something along those lines.
I'm sorry.
It is absolutely ridiculous. Welcome to gaming.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing with stepping away from it.
It's just taking a short break until I don't know. It's just I really gotta go back and finish it.
Word.
So yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
what I've been up to for the week. Mad Dog, what have you been up to, sir?
Well, I too finished Doom.
Yeah.
Oh.
And all I gotta really say is fuck that game. I am.
What?
I am. So let me preface this. Let me preface this by saying something that you probably will not remember in about 10 minutes, but I'm gonna say it now so that later on, when I repeat it, I can say, "Hey, remember, guys, when I said this?" I am in no way saying this is a bad game. Far from that. It is a very, very. It is an awesome game. Okay, it is. It is.
So what I'm hearing is that you hit the game.
However, it is an infuriating game, and it feels. I don't have the same feeling that I had with Doom 2016.
You see,
There
I
are-
get mad. I get mad at all my games at one point or another. So to me, that's just part of the game.
No, hey, as do I. You're gonna have your frustrating, scenarios and stuff like that. But this is, I mean, escalated to the point of I've actually thrown my controller twice.
What?
Now I've
Wow.
actually I've thrown it into a pillow into the couch next to me because I respect my electronics too much. However, it still went that way. You know what I mean? It is, and I realize I'm talking to my wife about it. I'm just like, why am I putting myself through this bullshit? This is I'm just like, it's ridiculous. First off, yes, 3D platforming should not be a thing. Should not be a thing. Not only should it not be a thing, it should be the furthest thing that a level literally requires it. So there are later levels that you are going to scream at 3D platforming because it's just like, why? It doesn't make any sense, and then and you, I'm sure you're past this already, or I'm sure you're past this already because you've played already enough. But swimming, 3D swimming, okay.
I haven't even gotten to the swimming part. I know the swimming, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry to say. I won't say where it is. I won't say what it's about, but you already know it's in there, and it's not a spoiler to the story or anything like that. It's just a spoiler to an element of the gameplay. That is infuriating. It's just like, what the hell? I have the what is it? The field of view. I have it shit all the way out, and I'm like, what am I hitting? Why am I getting stuck onto something?
Pull that back?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you can
that is the only way that I would. And by the way, that is a beautiful and well done feature of the game. You know what I mean? That you can actually pull. And
you're talking about the FOV, right? The field of view,
right? The field of view. Yeah. That you can pull that shit back out far enough. Those elements are there. The Marauder. Fuck that guy, dude. Seriously, fuck that guy. It is, and I get it. You got your challenges. But it's like, you'll know when you see him. You'll know when you see him. Yeah.
Is he a boss or is he a regular dude?
No, he is a
Might
boss
as
at one point,
might
and
as
then
well
he's
be
a
a mini
regular
boss.
dude. Yeah,
Might as well
and
be a
he's
mini boss.
always, yeah,
Oh
always
shit!
right.
That is my last yesterday. I fought that guy for the first time.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Do with a
So
shield and axe and a shotgun.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That
Yes.
you have to like read his dude.
and that
Fuck that guy.
godforsaken
Yeah.
fucking wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to say, he's now a regular going
Oh,
forward for you, my
great.
friend. So, uh, and yeah. So, I
Now
don't.
I don't know in Ultraviolence, but at least in Hurt Me Plenty, you never get two at the same time.
The
Of
well,
the
yeah, because
Marauder.
I heard me plenty, so I don't know. And if you do, dear Lord,
Oh, I'm so sorry for you if you do.
yeah, exactly,
So
because it's
sorry
just
for
like
you.
one of the, there's a tactic, right? The tactic is you have to eliminate everyone. I need to take everybody off this field so I can just focus on this one dude. You know what I mean? And he moves lightning fast. I mean, just it is there is a point where it's like this is unnecessarily difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this is unnecessary, not difficult. Let me do this is unnecessarily frustrating, and that's why at some point, and then I mean, obviously I won't go into the end, but the end itself. Chaos. We were in a chat group earlier as this was happening. I couldn't even hear you half the time because of everything that was going on and my focus. For the record, uh, but the end is just like this drawn out thing that I think I lost 5 pounds as I was playing this. So it was just like I feel like I
Now,
sweated out
now,
I was like, what the? I mean,
well, you know,
it's
when I did the last stage, I was in a chat party and I told everybody, like, all right, I'm about to start the last stage. I'm gonna get out. I'll be back, guys. All right, this is just the last stage. Shouldn't be long. An hour and a half later,
thank you.
I go
Hey
back
It's
guys,
just like
in, and I was like,
are you serious? I mean,
it's
what I'm hearing is, oh yeah, at some point, I will have no choice but to turn the difficulty down, or I'll never beat this game. Then
honestly,
oh, I don't know. I have no clue
if I'm
because
honest, I won't blame you if you did.
I will be completely honest with you. I took it down to the lowest one a couple times. I was like, yeah, I'm too frustrated. I just need to get back.
No, I powered through at least for through Hurt Me
And
Plenty.
and let me be honest, it's not really that different. You know what I mean? It's like I was just like, wow, this is really just the way they designed it. You know what I mean? So, that said, I have no idea. You're playing on PC. You have keyboard and mouse.
yeah,
Precision is obviously much better. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you know it has elements that can maybe alleviate some of the frustrations that I ran into. And so
yeah.
anyway,
To be fair, I will say this. Even with the higher difficulty, yes, it has been a pain in the ass. It has been difficult in certain areas, but I don't I have yet to encounter to have an encounter where I'll be so frustrated. Like the most frustrated that I've gotten, it has been, oh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to I need to stop. And I'm dying. I die a couple times here. I'm just gonna put it down and come back to it the next day. But it hasn't been it hasn't been unfair. But that said, from what I hear
No,
you guys saying
fuck
is
that.
it is about to get, oh, because I was thinking, well, my character is getting stronger as I go. I feel like
Mhm.
these fights are starting to become easier to manage. Even the freaking the very first big big baddies, those spider thingies that were a pain to
yeah,
kill.
later on they're not. Yeah,
Later
yeah,
on,
the arachnids. Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, they're
So,
a joke.
yeah.
well,
That's
yeah, I
that's
mean,
like the first, literally the first major baddie that you fight.
right.
So yeah, they're a joke.
I'm not gonna
By
lie,
stage two, they're a joke. You know what I mean?
that last
They're
fight.
not a joke on my stage too. I tell you, they're kind of they're still fucking they're still a fucking challenge, but it hasn't been to that level. That's the thing that I'm worried now. Going in, it's like,
Now
oh crap,
I gotta
I
say,
am probably gonna have to tone it down.
Mad Dog, that last fight, that the very last fight, I had. I mean, it was tense for sure, but I had a blast the whole way through.
I
The
like to
fact
hear
that
that.
the fact that The way it's designed, if it was designed like any of the other Battlefields, oh my god, that would be impossible. It would be literally impossible. The way it's designed, obviously, the drop rate of items is consistent. It's constantly regenerating for reasons. You know what I mean? Because clearly, if it didn't, just don't know how you would win. There's no idea how you would get past this. But it's just it's in retrospect, looking back at it, I'm like, you know what? It was kind of epic, you know. But during it felt it's just like I felt like at some point I really wasn't having fun, and I remember loving every moment of 2016's Doom, and I just don't know. Part of me feels like maybe I just go back. Maybe I'm just going to find it being exactly the same, and just in the last 3-4 years, I don't know. Maybe my gaming tastes have changed, or I don't know. I don't know what it could be. Again, I'm going to go back and say, in no way am I saying this is a bad game. This is a very, very, very good game. It's just for me personally, I feel like I was more frustrated than enjoying it, and elements of the story kept me going, but they weren't as interesting as by the time I got to this is just me. By the time I got to the end, I was like, this wasn't really as interesting as I thought it was going to be. And I don't know if I just there are better stories out there, or maybe it's just my expectation was something else. Uh, but in the end, it was just like it didn't land all the pieces in place that I would want. If I'd give it a rating, I couldn't go any lower than an 8, and I would never go, but I wouldn't go higher than that either. But that's just my personal take on it, and
Sounds
obviously,
like a
Considering that other than you, I'm the only one that's finished the game. I agree with that. I definitely give it an 8 out of 10.
yeah.
okay.
It sounds like he has suffers from a similar issue from another Bethesda title that also had a very good run the first time, which was Wolfenstein. Uh, the new the old blood or whatever was the first one. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I think you got it
Uh,
right. Because it was
yeah,
the
yeah,
new
yeah.
The
Colossus.
New Order,
Oh,
The
what?
new
the New
Colossus
Order,
is the second one. Yes, the
yeah.
new order. So the new order. I enjoyed that game. That game felt like it was just a natural shooter, fun. You know, you felt like a badass. And then you start playing Wolfenstein 2, and then it hits you with this ridiculous difficulty spikes that you know that they are there just to, well, we got to crank it up to 11. We got to outdo what we did on the previous one. So let's just throw most monsters. And like, they don't really balance that in a
And
way
that's
where
and
it just
that's a
became frustrating.
that's that's another reason why I feel that they upped the ante on this to a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that on this one, on Doom Eternal,
Yes,
because
I know. Yeah.
when you look at the fact that you can literally in mid jump pause the game, switch it to a difficulty, go back, and as you land, you are now playing in a different difficulty setting. It is that quick, that
I didn't. I
simple,
didn't know
that
you could
easy.
do that.
You can do that at any point in the game. When I see that, I'm like, okay, you did this because you know this shit is, so
Yeah.
we've made something here, so we have to balance it out by having this option to do that,
Oh, yeah. I think the
which is
game
an
at one point.
amazing.
Uh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, which is an amazing feature. I'm not saying every game should have this. I'm just saying that it's an amazing feature to have. But when you running into the situation, and then when I see how simple you can just kind of move the level up and down at any point, like I said, at any point, um, it's like, okay, so clearly you knew that this may, throw on top of that all the weapons, and like I said, you said for a long time, it's like I forget half the time I have the flamethrower on me. It's just like, oh,
Mhm.
that's right, I need to, somebody so I can get some fucking armor. Um, it's
Yeah, because
just
now
there's a
you have to
lot.
balance that too.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. When you see one enemy, I was like, I need to switch to this ice grenade, and whenever I see the pinky,
Ice
I'm like,
grenade. What
I
is
need the
that?
ice grenade. The
I know what it is. I had never
uh,
used it. I
Are
have
you
oh
never
really?
switched
serious,
to it.
dude? You
Oh, I use that
should.
shit all the time. Yeah,
Me
yeah,
too. Me all the
Really?
all the
time.
time.
Hell
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh
What
yeah.
is it? What is it? What does it supplant? What does it
It
change?
freezes them.
Oh, listen. What does it change? Like, if I'm not using it, what am I using? The regular
The
grenades
grenade.
or
The
Yeah,
frag
yeah, your
grenade.
regular grenade. Yeah, the
okay? So
frag.
it's either the frag, which I can throw almost two at a time now, or I mean not literally at a time, but in consecutive.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
before it cools
eh,
down.
right, and I can mix that with the freeze
Bro,
grenade.
Yeah,
you can throw the freeze
yeah.
grenade, freeze them, and then throw both frags and just watch the fireworks go
Oh
off.
no, that'll be handling too many buttons. So if
Dude, it's literally
Well, he's
throw
on keyboard.
throw.
He's on keyboard.
Oh,
I'm
I
on
was gonna
keyboard.
say,
I'm already.
you press L1, you press left, you press L1. I guess you don't do that.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
it's just a simple press of the D pad to switch between the
It
two.
it should be
Um,
harder for you though, because you
No,
I
no,
was
literally
gonna
it
say it should
shouldn't.
not.
But like
Yeah.
I said, I haven't because it sounds to me like I don't want to freeze them. I want to kill them. But if you're
No, no,
telling me
no.
that,
Freezing them is to say, I mean, you have different elements that you can do. For me, it was freezing them is like, stay here, motherfucker, so I can go over here, do what I was going to do, and then was, you know what I mean? And
right, it
that's
was not
one
cooperative.
element of it. Yeah, yeah. It was another like I'm just an example.
es-
Like if it's a baron or something like that, it's like,
especially
motherfucker, stay, stay.
the faster moving enemies, dude, it works like magic.
Yeah,
But if they
it's
are
like I
fast
just need.
enough and they dodge it, then I'm fucked.
Well,
I
well,
mean,
you have a
damn it.
blast. Well, if you upgrade it, as you upgrade it, you have a blast radius. The freeze lasts longer. All that stuff happens. Once you have that,
At
it's
some
like
point,
it's invaluable at that point. You know, it's
yeah,
like,
at
oh
some
Okay,
hell
point
yeah,
when you freeze
yeah,
them, and if there's an upgrade where you freeze them and you do damage to them, they drop health.
yeah.
okay.
That's another
Because
thing.
you know
So
what?
they're,
You know
they're
what?
useful.
The crazy thing is like I haven't put any of all the points that I have put, and I have already like completed out a couple of that circle skill thing.
The predator suit
Yeah, the predator suit.
upgrades, yeah.
Yeah, I had completed like half of that circle, and I'm putting on the other half, but I have not put anything on the freezing because like I never thought it was
I
gonna be that useful.
love it.
Uh,
I love the different plays. So the first thing I did was the freeze grenade.
the
That
freeze grenade.
that was the first thing I upgraded in that suit.
I
You
I have a habit of keeping things even. So I was kind of updating here and here and here. So
because you're even
so
Steven.
I
Oh,
guess,
and I
but
did.
they were going up sort of at the same time. So
I did the most expensive upgrade first, and then work my way down.
Yeah, I kind of try. I try to do the same if I can. Although if I have 3 points and I see that I can spend two on this one and one on another, and suddenly I get like two extra skills, I'll go that route.
But
yeah,
I
by
don't
the
mind.
I do
way,
the same
At
thing.
the end of the day, you end up getting so many of those that
I was
they
gonna
become a
say
non-issue.
I finished the game with 13 extra predator suits.
And what do you
Points,
do with them?
Predator points.
nothing.
Nothing. They're just
There's nothing
sitting
you can
there.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
there's
hoping
stuff.
they
we're
gave me
seeing this in
something to
over
do
an
with
abundance
them,
of
but
yeah,
yeah, I was hoping they gave me
yeah.
something to do with them, but there was nothing to do. Same thing with the
Okay,
weapon,
so
with
Well,
the
no, but there's
weapon
going to be
upgrade.
DLC at some point. The
that's
on the
true.
DLC.
Yeah, that's true. They already there is already I think it's two story DLCs plans on it.
Yeah,
Uh, but no, but
Well, I'm
I was
getting
gonna
those.
say so me too. I'm down. uh, my playstyle for the most part, I haven't like I mentioned, I haven't spent anything on the grenades. I felt like on the ice grenades, I should say. I feel like what's the other thing that it asks the other upgrade where you select um if you want your glory kills to be faster or if you want to have
oh,
a
the
little bit
Oh,
runes,
more
the
the
runes.
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 Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. On the runes, once I set the runes that I wanted, which was I knew from the get go, these are the three that I'm gonna want. I'm not gonna use any of the other ones of like
Yes, you
control
will.
air or faster no, because you
Yes, you
don't
will.
you can only use three at a time.
You can swap them at any point in the mission,
Oh, true, you can, but I don't want to. Like,
dude. I'm telling
so
you,
for me,
there's a
the
point that I had to do it. At one point, I absolutely had to switch that shit around because
well, what are
it
the
just
options? Because air control or faster glory kills. Like, who cares about that?
The glory
Nate.
kills wasn't the faster glory kills. I ended up getting all of them, but I only had the one that I ended up taking off and switching. Was the what is it? The last breath or whatever it is. Like if you're about to die,
I
everything
never
kind of goes
used it.
slow
Oh no,
motion.
dude, that's essential. That's
The I
if you're
I
about to
had that.
die, that has saved me so many times.
I never
Well, I
used
had
it.
that, and I had that for the majority, probably a good maybe 2/3 of the game. By the time I got to the end, it was like, okay, now I'm a little bit, I wasn't running into that many times where I kind of needed it, and I had because I would always go back and kind of play some of the other levels to kind of get
Oh,
some of
there you go.
what do you call the one ups.
Collectibles.
Uh-huh.
The
Oh,
no, the
the
one
extra
ups.
life.
So you get, yeah. So you end up, so you got, stack up on a little bit of extra
Yeah,
lives. So I'm like, all
yeah.
right, with that I'm okay. And then I switched that one out and I put in the glory kills from far.
Oh yeah, that
And
is so
I got
good.
that
that
one
one.
definitely, that one
Yeah,
helped out a
that was
bunch as well.
essential, basically. And so is
I'd say that
the
one. I would say that one is definitely essential.
that
From
was it.
further away, yeah, that is so much better.
But if you want to have a less frustrating experience, I feel like that last breath thing has gotten me to so many parts where I would have died. Otherwise, I would have definitely
You know
have
what?
died.
I never even considered using it, but I remember now. There's one platforming section that I absolutely had to switch that shit around. I had to put on the one where you slow
So
down
control in
time.
the air.
No, when you
Oh,
slow down time. I had to put that one on for a platforming section because holy shit,
oh,
that
I know
was annoying.
exactly what
And you
you're
know
talking
which
about.
one I'm talking about, of
Yeah, I
course,
know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
of course.
I
Other
know
than that,
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
only time I absolutely because I
Really,
saw it.
I did it without it. Although to
Really,
my own,
well,
yeah, to my
kudos to
own
you, my
detriment.
friend.
To my
Kudos
own
because I
detriment,
got
because
tired
I
of
forgot about that. I forgot about that fucking rune. I was just like, I was just more pissed off. Who the fuck designed this? I was literally yelling, "Who designed this shit?
the
Why would you do
person
this?"
the person that designed that part designed the room to slow
Designed
down
the rune.
time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was like,
Ah,
must
getting
have been
tips from
shit.
everywhere. Shit.
Oh, you'll
But
know which part it is. Don't worry. But
yeah,
just keep
yeah.
in mind that
The
you have
mummy
a
used to
room
give.
that slows down time when you jump and you aim down the
Correct.
sight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, needless to say, I finished it, and believe it or not, as frustrated as I am with it, as much as I dislike the platforming and certain design choices, I went back and started a whole new game. So I'm
See,
already I'm already at
Of
the
course.
cultist, the back in the snowy area again. So I'm like, all
wow,
right, fine.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Well,
did you
I
like
get to
finish
keep
that like
everything. I'm like, hell, if I get to keep everything, then this now it feels like Doom. It's like I get to have everything at my arsenal. I've upped the difficulty too, so I'm like, now I feel
wait,
like, well, yeah, I can up the
wait,
difficulty.
let me ask you something. Even if it's a different save slot, you still get to keep everything?
I don't
It's like
know.
a
I
new
didn't
game
go to a
plus.
different save slot. I just went to the mission select. Like you go to mission select, it just
Oh,
start
yeah,
like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
select that mission, it literally like mission one literally plays that intro and everything all over again. It just plays it like normal. So anyway, that's Doom,
And then
guys.
when you finish that, no, before you close, when you finish that, does it throw you back to the mission selection, or they just continue seamless?
Oh, when you finish the game, you
The
mean?
No,
Oh no,
when you
when
finish
you
the
finish the
mission,
mission, no, it'll send you back
no,
to the
it
ship in
takes
your
you back
current
to
state,
the regular
right?
mission. hmm
What?
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I did not get that. What's he do? What does he do again?
It takes you back to the ship. Basically, you go back to the ship, and now you have to select the next mission, which is the
Yeah.
second one, and then you just go from
Oh,
there.
okay.
You
Oh,
don't
okay.
you
Gotcha.
don't play through the game and normally you gotta select the
Right.
mission.
It's not new game plus, so to speak. It's just replaying
No,
Right,
the.
no, it's not.
that's what I thought it was for a
Gotcha.
moment there.
Yeah,
No.
that would have been awesome. I mean, I'm not. I mean, this works too. No, I mean, it's not a. It's
It's
not.
basically New Game Plus. I
Yeah,
mean,
basically.
without it,
Yeah.
without it being New Game Plus, everything is
Without it being
still there. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's what I've been playing. The only thing I have watched a few things. I did finish season 2 of The Kingdom, and man, that show is really good. That show puts Walking Dead to shame, guys. It really does.
Well, that's
Walking
not
Dead.
Um,
saying much.
I mean, even early Walking Dead, even when it was actually good,
Oh,
this is
okay.
still better than that ever was. And you know what it is? It's short. Season 1 is 6 episodes. Season 2 is 6 episodes. It's like it just has enough in an episode. a lot of stuff happens. It goes, oh, hey, we need to get to such and such city. And then the next minute they're at the city. It's like, they traveled there, but do we need to see the road? No, they just traveled there. You know what I mean? So it moves at a pace where it's like
Wait. There's no
really,
walking.
there's no walking, no.
There's no. Oh, I can't watch this
Unless
show then.
unless there
because
unless
you
there's
can't
something that
walk it.
happens on the road that's integral to the story, then there's no reason to put it. So it's everything is essential to the story, and it doesn't fill it with any nonsense, and that's why I think it's much. And on top of that, it actually has a political intrigue in it as well, because it takes place in Korean hierarchy and all that stuff. But anyway, that's season 2. Can't wait for season 3. Yes, there is a season 3, or there will be, I should say. A movie
Woo.
that I saw, which I wasn't sure I wanted to see it when I kind of first saw it. And I think I want to say we may have put it as our trailer of the week at one point. Um, Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez and
Oh, right,
Constance Wu.
right. Yes.
I think we did have that as our trailer of the week at some point.
Mhm.
Um, Guys, I really enjoyed this film. I really did. It's based on a true story. It's basically it's a story of these strippers, essentially, um, in New York, and that kind of gives you the glamorous life of a high price stripper, essentially.
Mhm.
But then the economy, like 2008, 2009, the not the depression, the recession that we had, that happened. So obviously no one's going out spending money unnecessarily, because that's just what happens when you're in a recession. So they had to figure out other ways, and the way they did it was to essentially go out and sort of trick these guys to join them at the club, and then like completely overcharge their cards or something like that, and then of course and they would drug them with something, and then of course, when you get back home, you got a $5,000 bill. These guys had money, anyways. $5,000 really wasn't a lot for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're so embarrassed of what happened, they don't say anything to anybody. They're like, it is what it is, and they just kind of move on. And the whole time, obviously, they're just funding these girls, and it's actually a really interesting story. It's well told. It has that weird, almost um, Ocean's 11 type thing, where you're seeing things happen, and it kind of has somebody narrating over it, and that type of thing. So it's actually pretty
Mm.
cool. So I can definitely recommend it. Jennifer Lopez, which I don't find her to be a great actress. She actually did pretty well here. I think she stood out. She was nominated for something, and I guess that's probably where I don't know if she would deserved the actual award compared to who won it, but she did pretty well. So I'll definitely give that to her.
Cool.
And then the last thing I just started was season 2 of Altered Carbon, and
Oh.
Ooh.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
How much have you watched of it?
I am up to. I just saw 3 episodes. Is what I did.
Okay, because I've only started the first one. Like I said last podcast, I really haven't sat down and watched any more of it.
Okay, I'm
What
not
are
going to
your
spoil
thoughts on it?
anything.
No,
Yeah.
no, but what are your thoughts on it?
Well, so the first season. Let's be real. This isn't the best writing. The reason I watched this, I even enjoyed season 1, was because of the element, the cyberpunkish element of everything. The fact that your body is just a sleeve, and you if you die, your stack or whatever the thing can be taken and moved on to somewhere else. So infinite life is possible, essentially, or to a point, essentially. So those type of things, and how the world acts with it, and the different things you can do, and you can sleeve into somebody else's body, those weird type of things that just elements of sci-fi that you only get in that type of story. And that's kind of what had me hooked in season 1. Season finale, I wasn't that impressed. I felt like it became almost an info dump towards the end, because it was like a who done it, and now it's that moment where the detective reveals his how he found everything out, and it's a lot of guys just standing around talking about it. I'm like, so this is how we're ending this. You know what I mean?
They're doing
Season
The Scooby Doo, and
Basically, essentially, yeah.
oh
Season
God.
2. the main character of Takashi Kovacs is now played by Anthony Mackie, of Falcon. If anybody knows Falcon from the Avengers, and which I think he's good. Um, the writing is still okay. Sometimes elements of the prior season came over, like the Edgar Allan Poe, which is the AI from the hotel, which he's pretty good. I think I find him to be probably
The
the,
best character in the
the
show.
best character. Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
agree.
that,
I agree.
I'm like,
even
what
from the
does that
first season.
say? What does that say
Even
when
from the
the
first
side
season.
character? It's like looking at The Witcher and going, you know what? The best character is Dandelion. I'm like, then The Witcher
I mean,
failed
is he
because
not? Is he not?
I mean, he's a good character, but he can't be the best character of the show, particularly if he's not even in every episode. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's what that means when you think of Alter Carbon, and it's like I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still kind of interested to see what's going on. As far as, again, there's another mystery involved, and the elements behind it, and so overall, it's very, the show, even season one, it's a very sexy show. It's just very, as you would expect from anything cyberpunk, essentially. So, um, another reason to watch it, right? Why not? So yeah, that's where I'm only 3 episodes in. It's one of those shows that I can tell I have to make myself continue. It's not like Kingdom, where I literally watched that in a day because I just wanted to see the next one. It kept me. Oh, I need to see the next one. Oh, I need to see the next one. That's not really the case here. I want to see the next one, but I don't really feel the need to, you know what I mean, to
And
maybe stay up.
maybe you don't need to do that then.
I guess maybe not. I don't know, but I do want to see. The reason I'm watching is I want to check this out, and then I want to jump over to the animated Alter Carbon Resleeved.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
watch that.
Yeah, and so I want to see this, and so I can kind of go to that. I don't know which comes, like, timeline wise, which comes first, but this came out first before the other one, and usually when it's released in that order, it's on purpose. So it's like, all right, we'll start with this. So, but that, gentlemen and ladies listening, is all that I've been. And with that, guys, we are back
Christ.
with
I guess
our
we're back.
useless
With
news.
no one.
The Lord of Thunder has spoken. The Lord of Metal has decreed that we are back and we should continue making a podcast.
Oh man, it is time for the useless news, guys. If you haven't noticed, we are kind of a little bit of a quarantine here in the U.S. However,
In the planet Earth.
in planet Earth, yeah, that's true, for the most part. And of course, theaters have, they closed their doors. They're not really showing movies because you can't gather in a spot with more than 10 people. But some movie companies have started releasing their films early, available. Ooh, what are we drinking?
Oh, that's still my vodka and pineapple juice.
Yeah, man. You gotta sip. You gotta sip that. You don't know what she put in it. She might be trying to take advantage of you.
Oh, wow. So a few weeks ago, or I should say a few weeks early, Disney released Onward. Sony released Bloodshot. Warner Brothers hilariously released Birds of Prey. And all these films are actually available to rent right now, either on Amazon or Apple. They are at a hefty price of $19.99 for a rental. Of course, if you think about how much one normally spends, Dreamy, when we go out to the movie theaters, what's our normal ticket price?
Just tickets alone, we can easily, let's say, two people, probably in the upwards of the 30s.
Yeah,
exactly. I was gonna say $20 for a brand new movie where you can watch it with, well, at least you can watch it with at least two people. I mean, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. There is one particular one that I'm actually eyeballing. That well, first off, The Invisible Man is also one that's available. 1999, Amazon on Apple. A Blumhouse film. And it's gotten some decent reviews, and actually some people on the group posted that they watched and enjoyed it. So, but one film that I'm really I think I am going to make it a movie night here is a movie called The Hunt. I don't know if you guys
Oh
have seen.
God! Really?
Yes.
That's your
Oh yeah.
really?
That's
That's your
the one.
choice.
That's
That's
my
your choice.
choice. You saw it?
No, I'm not gonna watch the fucking. Is that the one with the political message? Can we call it that? Is that the one?
So if you're
Is that the
reading,
one?
if you're, if you're looking for it, sure, you'll find one there.
Oh, sometimes you don't have to look. You could call it
Sure,
spade a
sure,
spade.
sure.
Listen, wait, are you keeping an eye on it or did you watch it?
No,
No,
I haven't
I'm not
watched
gonna
it
watch
yet. I
that crap.
haven't watched it
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yet.
yeah.
I want to
I,
watch that crap.
I kind of want to watch that crap too.
Have you seen the trailer?
Not surprised.
Yeah, I have seen.
Yeah. I
I have
kind of
seen
want
the
to watch
trailer.
that crap. Because it looks like it's going to be a hilarious time.
You
But
guys are
yes,
part of the problem.
sure, I will gladly be part of the problem.
What
I
problem
will.
is that though?
Hmm.
The what?
What problem is that?
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't want to get
Actually,
into it.
whatever the problem
Whatever
is,
problem is, we're part of it.
Yeah.
what I will not spend money on is Birds of Prey. That's for sure. I saw that there and I was laughing when I saw it. I said, really? Good luck with that. So yeah, look out for some of these digital. Now, of course, movie companies are not going to be dropping a Fast and the Furious, a Wonder Woman 1984. None of these are going to be coming to to early access. As much as you would love it,
Early
it's not going to
access.
happen, guys. It's not going to happen. But there are a few out there that you may be interested in.
Cool.
Who's got the
All
next
right.
piece?
I'll take it. I gotta give it. You know what? We all. I feel like we all have to thank Sony here for this one because we didn't know what they were doing from the very beginning, from the start of the PSN network. They were already limiting the download speeds of your games in the US to combat an epidemic they didn't know it was going to happen until years and years in the future. So, but they decided to announce this week Sony will be limiting PlayStation Network download speeds in the United States. The decision comes days after they did the same in Europe, with the company explaining it must take appropriate action, end quote, to ensure the internet stability during the COVID-19 pandemic. Although the decision may result in some PSN users experiencing slower or delayed game downloads, the company reiterated that gameplay will remain unaffected. So, in other words, things are business as usual at the
I was
Sony
gonna say, yeah.
campus.
So
Back
we
to
were
you.
slow and we're staying slow.
All
Good
right,
job, Sony.
I'm gonna pick
The
this
big
up
news
real
is that
quick.
there's no news.
Well, I mean, so they've always been doing that.
No, that's
No, no.
that's a joke. The
The
joke is
joke
that
is that
their
they're
network is always slow anyway, and they're
always
saying,
slow.
"Hey,
Oh,
we're
Yeah.
going to slow down because
We're
of
like,
COVID."
sure, Sony, sure.
so
That's what you're doing.
now
Yeah, a pat on the back.
this is the second news that I see of this. The first one was a couple of days ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. Fox will broadcast NASCAR substitute sim racing season, quote unquote, on television.
Mm.
Oh,
So I read recently that Formula One was gonna have their F1 race in a video game, and they were gonna have
yes.
the actual professional racers playing the game.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
Even
So,
though that would piss off a lot of the fans. That's
well,
like
actually,
the NBA. They're all gonna be playing NBA
no.
20,
Well,
Me
you know,
2K Live.
2K Live. Exactly.
well, I mean
They
that's
would really be
different
pissed off.
because the games themselves are different. But when it comes to racing, I mean, if you can get the steering wheels and whatnot, and you can obviously get the view from inside the car, if you can simulate as much as to it as real life, then there's not that much of a difference, right? So I just thought it was pretty cool. This is I'm reading this off The Verge. Um, this is all happening because the world's biggest motorsport series are on pause during the pandemic, and so pro drivers have taken to competing in sim racing games like iRacing, R Factor 2, and F1 2019. At the same time, various esports teams, sim racing broadcasters, and real world crew members helped spin up a handful of special races last week for big NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar stars that drew hundreds of thousands of viewers who suddenly had no real world racing to watch. That goes to what you said, Dream, about pissing off the fans. No, it actually drew them in because there was nothing to watch.
There was nothing to watch. All right, so when football season starts, Madden 2020,
Madden
boys.
2020, baby, you got it.
Woo! Yeah,
So,
I know you'll be very excited about that, Mad Dog.
again, this is what I was trying to say, that the racing games lend themselves better to this than any other sport.
I don't think I don't agree with that.
Why not?
Because you cannot replicate you know very well, actually, let alone one to one, the G forces of a racing, of real racing, for example.
No, no, not at all.
There's no concern for safety. One thing is for us to be playing freaking Need for Speed on with our Game Pass. Another thing is for us to be running at 160 something miles per hour on a real muscle car, and
but
putting our lives at risk for
but
real.
you can
So
definitely
there's no
simulate.
stakes.
You can definitely simulate car damage. And let's say you simulate
But
I'm not saying this is what happened because I didn't see it, but
right.
let's say you simulate car damage, and if you crash your car, then you're out of the race or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
I
can
mean,
still do that.
it's like honestly, it's a very poor substitute. It's a very poor substitute, but it is better than nothing. I
I was
guess
gonna say, yeah. I mean, I still think I don't know. I
this
don't
is the
think I
mighty
would
number
call it.
9 to Mega Man.
I don't think I would call it a poor substitute.
I
I
don't
would
think it's
say
a
that
poor
it's an
substitute.
adequate substitute for people who are interested in things. Particularly there, obviously, there's a lot of interest.
Now,
I posted something which was more meant to be a joke because of how hilarious it was, but it was a marble race. I don't know if everybody saw it when I shared it. That shit was fucking exciting. And that was just a marble race.
Let's
So
not
why
let's not forget.
why can't a video game version of a race, and again, it's different, it's not the same exact thing, but why can't it be just as exciting?
People are tuning in for the novelty of it. People are not tuning in because, at least I get to see racing. Don't get it don't get it wrong. People are not tuning in because, well, this is as close as I'm gonna get to NASCAR. No, the people are probably tuning in because, it's kind of hilarious. Just like if all the football players suddenly started playing Madden, nobody's gonna go in and say, well, I want to see the game because because
It's
it's a real
possible.
game.
I mean, not everybody,
Really?
but
for the
it's
third
possible.
time, for the third time,
Would you?
you can't. I feel that the racing games, that the racing simulators lend themselves better than any other sports game. Specifically, if you go into I remember Mad Dog talking about the football games, how he was getting like hundreds upon hundreds of yardage on one player every single game. That is
Yeah, it's
completely unrealistic.
unrealistic.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And on
I
racing
agree.
games, people are hitting other cars to be able to not eat the curve.
But again,
it's the
you
same.
can.
It's not an income. It's a video game equivalent. If you're telling me they could do a good simulation, sure, but don't tell me they're sitting down because they're watching NASCAR or they're
No,
watching.
and I'm not,
You
and
know,
I'm most certainly not saying that. I'm simply saying that it's an adequate replacement for the
Okay,
moment, for the time that we're in. Something to have people who are interested in it tuning in and say, hey, that's actually such and such whatever playing whatever number that car. I don't watch NASCAR, so I don't know anybody. I don't know any names, but
all right.
what I'm trying to say is
let me see if I can put it in
How
better
does
words.
Bobby? What was his
It'd
name?
be
Bobby
easier.
something.
It'd be easier to simulate car damage in a game. Apparently, it's easier to simulate car damage in a game than it's easier to simulate real life football in a game, right?
Well, true, and also I think you can only
Mm,
do, if I remember correctly, you can only do up to two people in a football game. They should be able to open it up so you can play a position or something like that. That would make it more interesting because now that person's controlling it. But even then, it's going to be again not a
so I have an
replacement.
idea. Madden Battle Royale. There you go.
But
It can be right.
whatever.
I mean, you can
I
get a
just
hundred
gave an
people
idea to
into a
EA.
yeah.
I'm
If
gonna
you can
keep.
get
I'm
a
gonna
hundred
keep.
people into it,
I'm gonna keep reading this from The
go
Verge.
ahead, sir.
NASCAR went even further. On Sunday, the Top Stock Car Series hosted its first virtual Pro Invitational race, a 100 lap affair held in iRacing that featured retired stars Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Bobby Labonte,
Hey, I know that guy name.
multiple championship winning drivers like Kyle Busch, Brett Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Jamie Johnson, and rising talents like William Byron and Christopher Bell. The race was even announced by Fox's standard broadcast crew of Jeff Gordon, Mike Joy, and Larry McReynolds.
I
The race,
still, I still fail to see how would that be. Let's say Joe Reynolds, which I think is one of the names you mentioned. Probably not. Uh, he's an excellent NASCAR driver, and he's probably suck ass at video games. Like I don't see, like
It's again,
where's the 1-to-1 on this?
it's not meant to be one to one. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
And
not
what
meant to be one to one.
then I think we're agreeing, but in different terms. All people are tuning in for the novelty of it, not because we're thinking, oh, I can use this poor substitute. I can put this nicotine patch
I
and this
honestly, I
morphine.
feel like it's both. Are you gonna
Okay,
have people who can look at it as a novelty, and you have people who goes, "Hey, I don't have anything else. Let me watch this."
yeah.
It's you know what I'm saying. I think it fits for both camps, and why not? I mean, it's only a temporary thing.
let
It's
me
not
let
saying,
me
"Hey,
ask you
there's no
something.
NASCAR."
How do you think a lot of these people practice?
In a
Do you
The,
think
in a
the
do
video game.
racers
I
they
I
no
don't
no
actually
think
no
they.
race. They
the
actually race on real tracks. They might have a video game thing at home, sure, because that's the thing. But you can bet. Yes, they do practice in real tracks.
Listen, this is again. I'm still reading this off here. One of the reasons it was possible for the motorsports world to quickly blah 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 blah. Um, that many pro drivers are already deeply familiar with the likes of iRacing. Most have sim racing rigs, a seat, steering wheel, pedals, and a giant, often wraparound monitors set up in their homes, or at the very least at their team's headquarters. Do you want to know why they would have that shit at their team's headquarters?
do you do you know
To
what G
simulate
forces are?
to simulate. Well, I mean, obviously you can't simulate the G forces
You
unless you're
could
like in
you
a
you
the
could
unless you're like a in a what do you like a Nassau type thing.
you
Uh,
can with a centrifuge. You can actually do that, but I
What's
don't think that
yeah, but
many
that's
drivers
yeah. I was gonna
have.
say no one has a centrifuge in it built up in their house, but I can see what you're saying. Obviously, they have simulation. They have that virtual simulation version of it at their headquarters, so that does make sense. But
Yeah,
um,
I mean
again, yeah,
it's serviceable. It's just
it
the
can
last
be.
thing
It
that I'm
can
gonna
be.
read
It can
is
definitely.
The last thing that I'm going to read is what's more, these games, iRacing specifically, offer such true to life detail that sim racing, yeah, may not have G forces, Dream. God damn, you mentioned that again. Fuck. Offer such true to life detail that sim racing has become a crucial piece of the puzzle of finding success in a top tier racing series. They offer drivers the chance to practice virtually as much as they want without needing to go through the costly, if not impossible, process of booking time to test at a real world, which is what I was trying to tell you. What do you think they do to practice?
sir.
Oh, I'm actually looking at it now.
Playing
It's
Call
nothing
of
that big. Nice.
Duty does not make you good with a gun.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
Dream.
but that's not the same thing,
Holy
dude.
shit.
And
There's
then,
two different.
dude,
There's two
you
different
got. I
things.
don't want. I don't want you guys to have an unrealistic. The video games are that. There is a limitation. This is not gonna be whatever. I don't know why we're spending. I'm super bored. Let's continue.
I'm
Let's just
super
go on.
bored. I'm sorry I'm boring you.
No,
Damn.
I didn't say that. I said this whole quarantine situation has us like debating like stupid shit. Like
I
who
don't think
cares
it's
at the end?
stupid.
Bravo if people turn into to watch Forza Horizon, and they want to
Nobody
be
mentioned
more
Forza
power to them.
Horizon.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Racing
yeah,
game.
I'm literally talking about simulators,
Oh, the real
and
ones. Okay,
and
that's
you're
fine.
you're 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 still. I mean, seriously, man, no
I know, I know,
Madden,
I know, I know.
Madden and
I'm
iRacing
telling
is in no way the same thing. And much, I mean, why Call of Duty?
you because I couldn't think of another analogy.
That's the one that came to mind.
You make
Yeah,
me want to bash my face against the keyboard, Dream.
Please don't. Please don't.
I
Don't want
won't.
to. Don't want to hurt yourself. All right.
All
This
right.
next piece of news.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You take it.
oh no. Well, I don't know if you're going to jump on this one. The PS5, according to Sony, the PS5 release shouldn't be affected by the coronavirus.
Oh, good.
Uh, Despite the coronavirus affecting its projected profits, Sony still expects the PS5 to launch this holiday season. Speaking with Bloomberg, a Sony spokesperson said there won't be, as Bloomberg puts it, a notable impact on the launch of the PlayStation 5 later on this year. Other facets of the company business are expecting slash profits compared to its financial forecast back in February. Sony profits are likely to be about 370 million lower. Okay, so I'm not going to go into their specifics, but I don't know if I buy this. I don't know
They're
if
full
this
steam
is
ahead.
I don't know if this is more investor talk, you know what I mean, and trying to keep anxieties down as far as the market, because the market is just shit right now. It's literally
True.
horrible right now at this moment. And I don't think I don't think we're I don't even think we're at the halfway point of what's happening at the moment. So because of that, if it's going to take longer, there's going to be people who are going to be affected by this, and I get that there's a stimulus out there and all that's supposed to help. Um, but this is going to affect a lot of people, and I feel like coming out of this scenario, and maybe you're on unemployment, maybe you're in between jobs trying to find something else, and then suddenly launching a console to the market the way it is, or the way it will be at that point. I don't think that's
Yeah.
smart. I don't think that's what they're going to end up doing. And I get what they're saying here. That's why I think it's more investor, talk. It's just, hey guys, don't worry, we still have our plans, full steam ahead, like you said. And I don't think it's going to be. I don't know. I don't. What do you guys think? Because I don't think it's going to be the case.
I
I
don't.
I,
Oh, go ahead.
I hope there's no delay. I I mean, I'm surprised when I saw the news um, that there wasn't going to be a delay. Considering what we spoke last week about the subject,
Hmm.
but I was kind of happy to see it. I I don't know. I don't have any other choice but to take their word at face value right now and see what happens.
At
True.
this point,
I
yeah.
I don't like. I don't want. I don't want a delay. But honestly, I think there should be one. And if it happens, if it gets announced, like we gotta understand this situation is so out of what the ordinary would have been, that is this is like beyond out of the ordinary, already. There's more pressing matters, things that should actually be manufactured. Not that Sony would, and not that I'm saying that Sony should take on that, or Microsoft, or anything like that. I'm saying that for how the economy is going to end up being for the foreseeable future, uh, for a lot of a lot of people in the world, not just Americans, uh, this might not be, just like Mando said, the best time to have a console. Even if we're on the other side of it, let's say we can just we can start going out again, and the things have subsided. This thing's gonna have a long tail, honestly, and and I will really like. I don't think it will bum me out too much if I hear the console manufacturers, both of them, decide to postpone this to next year, or
So next
or,
year,
or whatever.
or to some other point
Also,
this year.
because you got to consider. the people right now are working remotely, but even that has a big, like, a strenuous impact on the work quality, even at one point. So if you're developing games for the next generation, it's, what are we going to forgive them for being buggy, say, for example, because they had to work throughout the whole pandemic?
That'll be an
We got to deal
excuse
with
we
those
hear, I'm
things.
sure.
Yeah, so I will much rather not have to deal with that, and have them, and give us some time, because this generation consoles, there's still games for it. It's fine. We can the last generation lasted 10 years. And I don't think that we're on the 6th year of this one, or 7, or I lost
We're
count.
right on it.
So yeah, I'll be okay if it happens,
Okay.
if a delay happens.
All right. Who has the next piece? Sorry, I think you were about to go.
Yes. And don't mean to bring the doom and gloom, especially since we're talking about this thing, but of course, GameStop, uh, essential store that they are, has decided to close at least 320 stores in 2020. The U.S. retailer GameStop plans to close 320 stores in 2020 as it pushes ahead with its de-densification plan. That's a terrible word. De-densification. Uh, Breaking the news during a recent earnings call, GameStop Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer Jim Bell said the company anticipates store closes will be equal or more than the 320 net closures it saw in 2019. So an additional 320, because apparently that's how many we had in 2019. Uh, we continue. The quote he has is, "We continue to focus and we confi- no sorry we continue to focus on optimizing our global store fleet in fiscal 2019, and closed a net total of 321 stores, inclusive of 333 closing stores and 12 openings. The fiscal 2020 In the fiscal 2020, we will continue our efforts to de-densify our store base, focus on maximizing product productivity for the entire fleet," he said. Entire fleet. Okay. And then the quote continues: "We anticipate store closures will be equal." Oh no, I already read that part. Bell said uh, that the process has already begun to yield results, as aspects of oncoming closures are positively positively impact both sales and earning growth. So they're already expecting losses, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The news comes a day after GameStop released its full year earnings reports of 2019, which showed the U.S. chain has effectively used cost cutting and straighten its balance sheet. So not like, we never like to hear when people lose their job, and but of course, when you see the way this company has been managed recently, you kind of
Kind of
expect it.
expected. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So, quick news, quick last piece of news here from the Reaper himself. Warframe confirmed for PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Oh,
Woohoo!
booyah!
Yeah, which I
You're excited.
I have to say I am not surprised to hear this. It was kind of expected. It's nice to hear it to be confirmed. But yes, I am super excited over it. Have you seen this game on PC?
I have, actually. I played it. I played
It's
it on PC, and it runs amazing.
fucking gorgeous. All
Yeah,
right,
and
I
it
played
loads
up.
ridiculously fast too.
Yeah, I play on PS4 because I already sunk in hundreds of dollars and hundreds of hours into it, and I am not going to start all over again.
That's a shame that doesn't let they don't do what's it called, cross platform.
Cross save or whatever the hell it's supposed to be
Cross
called.
Yeah,
progression.
Yeah, I guess
sure.
that'd be the best term for it. Yeah, cross progression. That would be amazing. But I think the thing is that with PC, they're I don't know if they're at the same update right now, but usually PC gets the updates first, and then the consoles get it. So I can see why it wouldn't work. It is what it is. But I can't wait for. Well, I can't wait for the PS5. I can't wait for this to be on the PS5. Unfortunately, there is no date for it revealed. No release window revealed for the next gen consoles. But considering that they are going to be backwards compatible, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to play the current version on the next gen consoles, even if I have to wait for an update or something like that, I guess. But I mean, honestly, that's about as far. I didn't even have to read it off the page that I'm looking at.
You're already excited.
Well, because there's not really much to say. That's all it says. And right after that, it just says, "What is Warframe?" And I'm sorry if I have to tell you what is Warframe at this point. Just download it. It's free. It's ninjas in space. No, they don't all look like bugs, regardless of what Dream says.
Bad design. Awesome game. Free to play. Amazing value. Terrible design. Terrible
Dream, if I were to stream this, would you see the stream? Would you watch it?
But then again, I will watch it. I will watch it regardless of what game it is. I've played this game.
I don't want to bore you.
I play. Well, is this a bug simulation or something? No,
it's a bug's life.
It's a bug's life. There you go. No, I mean, I played this game and again, it looks amazing. Honestly, I would have kept with it if it wasn't for the fact I don't do that well with grinding. With grinding.
Oh yeah, this is
I know that's your thing. So
a grind fest.
Yeah. And also it was kind of, I don't know if things have changed, but when I got in the first few times, I found it like so. It was a little obtuse to get into it. There was a lot of things that you had to.
Early on,
you were expected to know early on.
Let me tell you, it's only gotten worse.
Oh,
meaning that it is super, because there is so much.
You should be their community manager.
So much content and so many things that you have to learn and start. It's very overwhelming for new players. Like I said, I got my brother into it recently, and I literally grabbed him by the hand, and I'm gonna walk you through everything that I know, little by little, get the feel for it.
You're gonna be my legacy
because
when I'm done.
Because it really is. I mean, I haven't even started him on the Arcwing or the Railjack or none of that. Just
God,
this are your
Chaos brother. Blink if you're in duress.
Yeah, if you're being held against your will, please send us a message.
We send help.
I told them right now, focus on your frame, on getting different frames, getting different weapons, and your star chart. That's all you need to worry about now. We'll worry about everything else later. Just one thing at a time. Because, I mean, the game doesn't tell you much. And you start the game and suddenly you're inside your ship. And there's all these things. There's this giant star map in here. And you don't, what do I do? Where do I start? What is going on? So I understand that it can be overwhelming. I know. Because even when I first started it, I went in and I was like, yeah, no. And I mean, I still eventually tried it and stuck with it, but
yeah, I think it's one of those games where I mean, it's not EVE Online for crying out loud, It's,
but if anybody out there want to try it, download it. It's free, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. I will do my best to answer them.
Actually, you guys should tune in to our new YouTube series, Chaos Tells Warframe as he sees it, where he shows you the ropes. It's a series, right?
That's a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing. You're working on it. Yeah, it's a series.
Okay.
You're gonna take him to the beginner's guide to everything Warframe. That's gonna be your project.
I love it how you're committing me to this, and I didn't know that was happening.
It's recorded now. You
tune in to see it. Good Game Bracket GG on YouTube. Oh man!
And what happens is hilarity. Okay.
My last piece, guys, is Resident Evil Resistance The open beta has been delayed on PlayStation 4 and PC due to technical issues.
The T
Uh,
virus.
the T virus, yeah. The open beta for Resident Evil Resistance, the new asymmetrical multiplayer spin-off of the Resident Evil series, has been delayed on PlayStation 4 and PC. The Resistance beta was supposed to begin on all platforms starting early in the morning of Friday, March 27th. Instead, only the Xbox One version of the beta is currently live. This is according to an announcement on their game's website. This is due to a technical issues. Capcom hasn't announced when the other platforms will get the chance to try the game out, but according to its website, the company is working to resolve the issues as quickly as possible. Keep you updated on its availability. So not a good start for the Resident Evil multiplayer on PlayStation 4 and PC. That is
This is the multiplayer for
the
Resident
one
Evil
that's coming
3.
with. Yep.
Oh,
The
okay.
the
Oh wow.
four v one, very similar to, well, what was it? What was the other one? Those asymmetrical multiplayer games.
Evolve.
Evolve. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name.
Oh
It's such a
shit!
simple
I was
word, and
joking.
so yeah.
I was joking. Okay, Evolve. Okay, I have one more. This was actually quite the hilarity. Xbox Series X GPU source code reportedly stolen.
Oh shit.
Hacker hacker is asking $1 million not to leak it. Now, I'm technical, but I'm not that technical. I don't know what kind of damage will releasing the source code of the GPU means. If it means some if the damage it will be towards Microsoft, if the damage will be towards AMD, who is the chip holder. Like I'm not sure. I'm not sure of what the repercussions of this being released are, and I tried to look for it a little bit, and it seems like, at least on the sources that I tried to look for it, I couldn't find details on it. But evidently, it's a major thing if a hacker is willing to be like, I'll I'll I'll, I'll no, I won't release it if you pay me $1 million.
That's
It's kind of
ridiculous.
crazy, kind of a huge amount.
I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick here, but I'm watching Nivel Escondido's Twitch because they're streaming right now. They
Uh,
have the Bacalao Fight Club going on,
Hmm.
and I may have gotten myself into an MK match, a Mortal Kombat match.
Oh, there you go. I want to see that.
Yeah. So
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I'll let you know if it happens.
All right,
All
awesome.
right.
Keep us posted. Also, don't you ever interrupt me. No. Where was that again? Oh yeah, the Xbox Series X GPU source code being stolen by a hacker, asking 1 million not to leak. Someone reportedly hacked into a PC, stole the source code of AMD's Big Navi and Arden GPUs, the latter of which is said to be the Xbox Series X GPU, and now they want 1 million not to release the entire source code. Strings of the source code were posted on 4 different repositories on GitHub, and AMD took the threat seriously enough to issue a DMCA takedown notice. And of course, GitHub complied. According to Torrent Freak, which spoke with the alleged hacker, the source code was unexpectedly achieved from an unprotected computer slash server through some exploit back in November. The individual told Torrent Freak the unencrypted package included code for Navi 10 and Navi 21 devices, as well as the source code for the Xbox Series X GPU Arden. AMD has since has released a statement regarding the breach, and the statement reads as follows: At AMD, data security and the protection of our intellectual property are a priority. In December 2019, we were contacted by someone who claimed to have test files related to a subset of our current and future graphics product. Some of which were recently posted online, but since have been taken down. Uh, while we were aware the perpetrator has additional files that have not been made to the public, we believe the stolen graphics IP is not core to the competitiveness or security of our graphics products. We are not aware of the perpetrators processing any other or possessing, sorry, any other AMD IP. We are working closely with law enforcement officials and other experts as part of an ongoing criminal investigation. So yeah, it still doesn't say much. I mean, AMD says that this is not going to affect. This doesn't mean that the Xbox Series X is hacked.
Hmm.
But it could certainly make it easier if you get what I'm thinking on the source code of a graphic chip. I'm thinking, and I might be completely off, so don't quote me on any of this. But I'm thinking of more of figuring out the rendering tricks of the architecture, and if you can, and if you know how to engineer or how to reverse engineer. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to reverse engineer because you have the source code. Hello, but if you know how to engineer your own version, you could potentially have the resources needed to do an emulator of sorts.
Okay.
Maybe not everything, but understanding the graphics, the graphic mechanics will probably be a huge step on that, and AMD will not want that. Not only for the sake of themselves, but for the sake of their partners.
Hmm.
So the, as usually goes with these things, you never know what the outcome is unless the outcome is we have arrested. This person has been arrested. You never know if they're gonna, what they're gonna do. I feel like the guy got cockily stupid. Like if you had that, I'm not like if I was that guy. Let's say the fuck am I gonna ask for $1 million? Who do I want to involve? The fucking Interpol and freaking MI6 and FBI and the CIA and the KGB and the 123 and the barbecue? Are you
The
crazy? Like,
stupid part about that is it's the trouble that you're going to get into. $1 million is not worth it. I'm just
dude,
saying.
it's
Oh, it's
10,
pretty silly.
a
Yeah.
hundred. He's asking for no. He's because he's asking for $100 million. If he could
Oh,
have
you
asked
said
for,
1 million.
I said 1 million. No,
Yeah.
I said it twice. I
Did
said
you?
it.
You said
Check
Oh,
the
I,
record.
$1 million when you were trying to sound like Dr. Evil.
Uh huh.
You said $1 million.
I did.
yeah. That's what I heard. I was like, oh, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's a
Holy
silly
shit!
amount for you
No.
to get in
Well,
trouble. Yeah.
if I said that, I apologize. But if it turns out that I did say $100 million, and you hear when you're editing, then fuck
I
you
told you
guys.
so.
Yeah, and I told you so. And next time, listen when I'm talking. No, no. It's 100 million. That's the stupid part. Not that's no. If I would have been that guy, I probably would have. I don't know. I wouldn't have asked for that amount because at that point you're just making it. You're not getting your money more
How
than
much would
likely.
you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
asked for then?
Yeah.
Honestly, myself probably like $100,000
You
at
know, I was
most.
thinking that exact number, yo.
No, of
What did I
course
say, like
it makes
100 grand?
sense. It makes sense. It's $100,000. You know what? At $100,000, they're probably gonna be like, well, it's gonna cost us more to start investigating this, so let's just secure this and make the exchange, and that's it. And usually that's how it works. But someone decides to ask for $1 billion. This time I said billion.
$1
It,
billion.
it's that like that's so stupid. You're calling attention to yourself in a way that A, you're not gonna get any money. B, you're gonna get fucking arrested, and C, you're probably not gonna ever get to see the sun. Oh, like what are you doing?
That's insane.
That's insane. People are stupid, man. The stupid times that we're living. That's all I have.
That they are, guys. All right. Well, stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back with our hot topic. And we are back, guys, and it is time for our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic! Woo!
Whoa, that's some serious excitement coming up from me, from my co-host here.
Too much.
That's,
Tone it down a little bit.
Nah, we're just gonna go with it.
All right.
Our hot topic, guys. Let's talk crunch. Of
Cinnamon
course,
Toast Crunch.
no, Nestle's crunch.
Oh, wow, that's even better.
I was gonna say that's like your favorite thing in the world that I know.
Hell yeah! That are Oreos for the win.
Oh my god.
You said Oreos?
No, he said Oreos. Yes.
Ooh.
Apparently, there's an Oreo shortage that he's concerned about more than the TP shortage.
Yes, dude, for real.
You're gonna need that TP after you get the Oreos.
And with the crunch, put them together. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that is a.
That should be the topic.
That's a bathroom disaster waiting to happen right there, guys.
Oh
my god. All right,
my
so
God.
the hot topic, guys, as I mentioned, is crunch. Article came out recently from Kotaku. I don't want to say pointing a finger, but yeah,
Before we
we'll
get
go to
into
say
it,
point.
What is crunch for those that don't know?
I don't know.
lingo?
Okay,
Right.
so it's basically short for crunch time, and what it means in the game industry is once they come towards the end and they are basically trying to wrap up a game right before release, they have their deadlines. It can mean anywhere between 12 to 16 to 18-hour days, 7 days a week, few weeks
Wow.
at a time.
So it's like
These
super
are
mega
the worst.
overtime.
Yeah, these are the worst case scenarios that we've heard. Yeah, not really overtime because a lot of these particular type of positions are salary positions. You don't really get paid additional for that
Hey,
stuff.
the
So,
fucking worst.
yeah, it is true. It is true. So that's essentially what crunch is, and overall, I think the industry has kind of shined a light on it and kind of said, "Hey, this is something that really needs to, we really need to focus on avoiding this as much as possible." It still happens, of course, particularly with bigger games, AAA games that obviously, have hundreds of employees and all working as much as possible to get the game out on time. Notorious for this would be Naughty Dog, a big company, Sony first party, released all the Uncharted games, Last of Us, Jack and Daxter back in the day, and so essentially the main thing that they've been, again, I don't want to say that the article's pointing fingers, but it seems to be pointing fingers in the sense that, hey, they're notorious for it. It's gotten to the point where they are ex Naughty Dog employees who are now kind of saying, yeah, if they were better prepared and better led by their dev team, by the director, this game would have been out already. It actually has gone out on Twitter a couple times. So overall, guys, I kind of want to just start with your overall thoughts on crunch in general. I know, Chaos, you actually come from the background of game programming. What do you think? We'll start with you. What do you think as far as crunch time in making a game? Do you think that's a feasible thing? Is that something that it's just should be expected? Is there a way to mitigate it? What do you think?
All right, you say background, that kind of carries a lot of weight. I did study video game design, and the biggest crunch I had was like I have a project due in a week. Okay.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
I mean, it wasn't forced. It's not like nobody was forcing me
That
to
project
put
was in
in.
beta for way too long.
No, nobody was forcing me to put in all the extra time. But when you compared my projects to others, because of the time I put in, it did came out better.
Mhm.
But again, that wasn't imposed. That was just me on my own time. And I wasn't working on it 12 hours a day or more. That I was reading that on the article that some of these people put in that amount of time for months, for months. That's just insane. I don't see it. I don't see it as a necessity. I don't see it necessary. I think it's completely unnecessary, specifically because, okay, and we I was kind of gonna mention this while we were out of the air, and then Dream kind of like reprimanded me for it.
And
But
now that's on the air also because it needed to be known.
of course, I gotta throw you under the bus. But that's because you're mean to me. Ask your wife. Um, what is the diff? Because Naughty Dog makes this amazing games, right? Last of Us, Uncharted, and it is because of their dedication to it and the amount of time they put into it. Now, the amount of time, just because they put in a lot of time, it doesn't mean that it has to be constrained to this few months that they have and put in 12, 14, 16-hour days on it. You could extend the time, and if you have to delay the release of it, why not, to keep your people healthy and working for you longer? Because from what I read in this article, from the 20 people that work on, was it the original Last of Us or the Uncharted series, one or the other, like
Mhm.
14 or 17 left. Fuck, I just read it and I don't remember the number.
Well, true, but the you also have to understand that a lot of them left for other positions. It wasn't they left
Okay.
because they weren't like, for instance, believe it or not, the guy behind Doom and Doom Eternal, one of the guys, he's an ex Naughty Dog guy,
Really?
and I'm pretty sure it is not above crunching. You know what I mean? So, as a matter of fact, I think if you've listened to Masters of Doom, that's just what they did, and they did it because they just it's just like, hey, it needs to get done, so I just got to be here to do it. You know,
I
so
understand if you're passionate about it, because I could get carried, especially when I was in the classroom working on it. I could easily get carried away working on one thing. I won't even notice the time. Like you start, and it's funny because you start working on like one little piece, and you keep fixing it and fixing it, and then you keep fixing more things. But before you notice, 5 hours have gone by, and you
mhm.
worked on not even a quarter of the whole of the project that I had to do. So I can't imagine what it would be like to work on a masterpiece like Last of Us, and the amount of work and the crunch, the crunch that they must have experienced and are experiencing right now must be insane. So why not give your people more time to rest, if to get this game out? The time put in doesn't need to change. The release date may have. You understand? Like,
Mhm.
the quality of the game does not need to suffer unless you want to meet that release date so bad. I'm looking at you, Street Fighter Five. You know what I'm saying?
The
Because you
yeah,
Street
wanted to
Fighter
yeah.
Five,
release
yeah,
it so
100%.
fast, get it out, get it out. Now you have this incomplete piece of shit out there that you have to patch 100 fucking time for it to resemble a normal game. No, why not just give it more time? You're gonna get you have the people, you have the talent with you already. Why are
The
you going to abuse it?
So,
the
and this is not. Oh, I'm sorry, Dream.
no, I was just gonna say the problem that we have with so many companies just relying on the crunching at the end of the projects is that reliance to stick to be firm on on a particular release date. And I don't understand, and what I mean understand, I mean like ignorance, not saying that I disagree with, but I never understood the reason. I understand the reason for trying to hit a particular date in the in the year. Let's say, for example, the very much coveted holiday season. You
Hmm.
want to have your game, you're shooting always for that time. I understand that, that part uh, to a certain extent, but I I, I I guess I don't see how that how this how do you call it, this reliance on crunching could end up being sustainable. If you're gonna be a big name company like Naughty Dog, and I don't want to I don't want to I don't want us to circle down just Naughty Dog. Obviously, there's a lot of other companies, but Naughty
Oh
Dog
no,
is
yeah,
one
there's
that is
many. Yeah.
known for developing ridiculously
Notorious,
high
notorious
quality.
crunch time. Yeah, no,
Well,
and
they're ridiculously
notorious
high
crunch
quality
times too.
games,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
because but also Rockstar, hello, makers of GTA and the cowboy game. What is it called? What's that called for real?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead
Red Dead
Redemption. Thank you.
Redemption,
I
Horse Bowls Redemption.
Raw Redemption. Yes, they managed to put out this masterpieces of of a game, but at the cost that the cost of it is extraordinary. I mean, we had cases, you're seeing cases like going all the way back to the ES spouses back in 2007, I think it was, where you have freaking family, couples that won't see each other barely because the spouse will be working, will be crunching. We're talking about spending the entire day and being pretty much mandated when you think about it, because some companies say, oh, it's we don't we don't mandate crunch time, but you still expected to do it because everybody else everybody else is doing it because of pretty much the pressure. The pressure of, well, we're a team, and if you don't stay with us, working, 19 hours or whatever amount of time, then that's gonna look bad on on your, let's say, on your review. You know, and my concern is that this, instead of being something that is of an emergency, like, oh shit, this game is because of released with a movie or for whatever reason it needs to hit this day, and it kind of we kind of messed up on it and we're trying to catch up. Now it is almost the norm for every game that is coming out, almost every game that is coming out from a lot of companies, and that's how you end up seeing the destruction of this of some of these companies. Just look at Bioware, for example. Uh, and you see people exiting out. Uh,
I can definitely agree with the Bioware scenario because the Bioware being under EA, the faceless, evil corporation. I don't know if they're evil. I'm just saying faceless evil corporation just to be
oh fuck
funny.
'em.
But
They're fucking
but overall, they have so to kind of back up to what Chaos was saying. When you look at the reason why delays are something that, yes, we don't mind at all because we know that's going to make a better game. But the reason why it's not just something that they're immediately going to just say, sure, let's just delay it. Let's just delay it. The longer it takes, if you look at just looking at Naughty Dog, right? Yes, they're part of Sony and they have the backing of Sony, but being its own company, it has to be viable on its own, right? So it has a certain amount of money, right? And it plans out, okay, we're going to be uh this game is game this, let's say, Last of Us 2, we should have that within 3 to 3.5 years. And so that's 3 to 3.5 years of nothing coming in for the most part, right? Because there's no game. So it's like, okay, we're going to be paying people, throughout the time to get everything done within this time, and hopefully this date in the future, whatever date that is, that's the game release, and here are our projected sales, and this is what we expect to come back, right? So the longer you push that out, the more that cost is, and the projected sales, chances are that's not really going to move, right? Because you're kind of projecting it to be based on your popularity and the popularity of the product. So that's why delays are a thing that, yes, we don't like them because we want the game now, but we also, all of us say, hey, a delayed game is better than a broken game, right?
Well, this is
Um,
this is my counter to that.
mhm.
If you plan on something in 3 or 3.5 years, and suddenly now you have 4 months of crunch time, now you're paying overtime out the ass.
Well,
Won't
that's
that
the
just
thing. There's no
cost you more?
overtime. No, there's that's the issue. If there was overtime, then there would be less of an issue. A lot of these positions are salary positions. So you're there 16, 18 hours, you're still making the same salary.
Oh, so the overtime is
You know
just
what I'm
what you
saying?
work. You don't get paid for it.
Correct. Like my job, for instance, I currently, because I've transitioned to a salary position, I have worked 45, 50 hours. Only 1 week I was close to 55. But my pay didn't change. I didn't get anything extra for it. It's just it's a salary position. There's no overtime. There's no extra whatever. You know what I mean? That's how that works. And the majority of these positions are like that. Game testers may be a little bit different because they're usually contractors that they bring in. But the actual main development, we're going to bring you now. To be fair, a lot of these guys are making, as far as the salary, the average salary is, they're not low, not making 35,000 a year. They're making close to 60, 70,000 a year. And if you're a game director, you can be upwards. A lot of the guys over as Dreamy mentioned, in Rockstar, what I'm saying, these guys are making 6-figure salaries, you know what I mean? And not just 100,000, clearly way into the 6-figure salary. So, and I'm not saying that because you make that much, you should be expected to work 16 hours a day. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they're making their money's still coming in. You see what I'm saying? But think about that for a second. You're paying, or the company's paying these large salaries to these people, and it's extending further and further. And we still haven't released a game. We need that game to make, you know what I mean? It's like it with movies. The production company goes in, they already know how much they're going to be doing for marketing. They know how much they're going to be doing for the production budget. Let's say it's 200 million in production budget. Maybe it's another 50 million for marketing. That's all up front. Everything's going to be paid up front. And you need that movie to sell to make that money back, and then more on top of that, right? So the same thing with the games. Only with games, it takes longer. There's more involved in it. So that's the reason. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but that's the reason why delays. Yes, you should just delay it. Well, you can't. It's, as a business, it's going to cost for you to delay it, and it's going to eat into what you were projecting to have come back when the game sells. And then you look at Naughty Dog, that game's only going to be on PlayStation. So you've already limited the market. You know what I mean? It's not like it's going to be on everywhere, which is why when I look at EA, I'm like, why are you guys doing this? You guys are going everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like that's one of the things I don't like about EA. It's like, yeah, I get it. You guys don't want to eat into your whatever, but it's going to be you're releasing it to your. Sony's happy when it does $6 million, 6 million units. EA, they're expecting 10, 12. You know what I mean? They're expecting way more because it's going to be on so many different markets. I wanted to touch on a real back to Chaos. I know you're not there yet, but your plan is to eventually get into that. If you were to join a dev company, and this was something that they were expecting, would you do it? Would you join in and say, "Oh, hey, this is"? But let's say you were the director. Let's say it's your game. You're the one who wrote it. You're the one who's developing it. You got your team. Would it be something that you would expect from your team if you knew it was if you knew it would require crunch?
I'd probably be something that I expect out of myself. It's hard to say because I've never been in that position. If there's one thing I can say about a salary position, it's not something that's enforced heavily, but there's an expectation where it's you considered exempt, and there's an expectation where you're like, it's okay for you. Like, for instance, I'm off Thursdays and Fridays, and I had a meeting yesterday, and it was scheduled, and I'm like, well, I got to be there. It is what it is, even though it was my day off. Now, granted, it's virtually, so it's a little easier. I just basically hop on my computer and join the meeting. But if it wasn't virtually, it'd probably still be the same scenario. We're like, well, I got to go in. I got to be part of that meeting. There's a little bit of an expectation behind that, and it's something I already knew going into the position. It wasn't like it was hidden from me. So that's why I was asking that. Like, it's a startup developer. I would see it. I would definitely see it as something that I would definitely do, because you're starting out and you need this out, right? But it's someone like a giant company like EA or Activision or something. I feel like that it's completely unnecessary when it comes to a company like that has so many other revenues of cash coming in
and resources.
Right,
because they have you can always get another team to join and say, hey, we need help on on. That's actually what happens with Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty's on a. They have 3 studios, and then each one releases every 3 years, essentially. So that's why you get one a year. But they have, is it Raven? I think it's Raven is the name of the dev team, who
I don't know.
helps who backs them up essentially. When they I don't want to say when they fall behind, but if there is some sort of delay, that's why Call of Duty games come out on time every 3 years, and for the most part, they're solid games. They
Wait, there's
run at
three
60
now. There
frames.
used to be two. It was three. It was first. It was Infinity Ward, and then
Tr-
whoever was the
Treyarch
other one that made Treyarch,
and then
And
and
Sledgehammer.
and then
Sledgehammer, yeah.
Infinity Ward got dissolved, and it was Sledgehammer. No.
No, no, Infinity War is still there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
the original Infinity War team went off to do. I think they're the ones who did Titanfall too, if I'm not
yeah. They
mistaken.
became Respawn.
Yes, Respawn. Yeah, but Infinity War is still there. So Infinity War, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer, and then you have Raven, which is a smaller team that backs them up individually. You know what I mean? So yeah, as a big company, Activision has that. They have that ability to do so, but I would imagine crunch is still part of their lives. You know what I
Of
mean? It's not
course,
like it's not happening. So
they're not exempt from it.
yeah,
It,
exactly. Yeah.
it has
I don't
it,
know,
it
man. I mean,
it has to be.
would you are in this salary position? Would you do it? Would you put your team through something like that?
Well, what are
The
the options? What would
well,
be the think of it like this. To phrase a question.
Okay.
Let's say, Mad Dog, you are the I don't know. You run the studio, right?
mhm,
GG Studio, you run it, all right?
okay.
And we got a publisher that is, the game that we're developing is being handled by the publisher. Let's say
Mhm.
Nivel Escondido is the publisher, just to, you know.
Okay.
I'm loving this setup, by the way.
And then they say, for example, that we're not hitting our milestones. Our milestones are behind. So what do you do? Would you uh
We have to
ask?
catch up. Yeah,
Well,
we
how
have to catch
how
up.
do you
Yeah.
tell? Well, then, would that mean, would you ask them for more money, or
The
for like extra people, because that would
the
probably
well,
piss
I
them
mean,
off.
it may be, particularly if you took on, yeah. So I mean, it also would depend where you're at and as a developing team, right? If you're a new team, you're not going to ask for anything. You're new. You're expected to deliver.
Yeah,
So
you're just
as a
gonna
leader,
work.
correct. Yeah, as a leader, I would go back and guys, we are behind on our milestones. We need to, the I don't know. These levels are not working out. We're gonna have to really buckle down and get on this. Guys on the art team, whatever, or the writing team, guys, this whatever this was here, this is not working. We need to fix. You know what I'm saying? You would go in and say we need to as a new team, right? When you're an established team, you have a little bit of clout that you can actually maybe even you've earned the street cred to say, hey, we need a little bit more time, or hey,
Mm.
is there a team that can assist us? I
Like
mean, I don't
Naughty
know.
Dog.
Like Naughty Dog. I don't think Naughty Dog would ask for a team to assist, but they would ask for more time, and they have that street cred to say, yeah, sure, take that time. You know what I mean? But that also puts a strain on the people. But at the same time, I also want to touch on the fact that I think that and I don't think a lot of these stories don't go into this is that there's a different expectation when you are sort of in the arts game if you want to call gaming an art, you know what I'm saying, the point is it could be movies, it could be any when you're creating some sort of art, you know what I'm saying, it's more than a job. It can be a project. Like for instance, it was something when what is it, the guys who made the Walking Dead game, what is the name of those people? I forgot their name now.
Telltale.
Telltale.
Telltale, thank you. When Telltale closed up, right? It was a bummer for everybody, and obviously there was crunch there too, and then a lot of crazy stuff going on, and there was just no money. Um, Shortly after that happened, someone there was like a plan, or somebody had mentioned, "Hey, I think they're going to pick up the rights to it so they can finish this game." And there was a couple of these developers who had been let go, who had to now figure out what they needed to do. Their life was literally cut short when it came to to that particular thing. And the first thing they said is, "Oh, thank God they can finish it. Just please let them be able to finish it." And suddenly it becomes, that's the thing where I thought, I was like, I don't think game development is a job for a lot of these people. I think a game development is, you think of an artist, you think of any artist, what I mean, they put in their heart and soul to something, and sometimes, yes, that means it takes longer, or I'm going to work harder on it, or I'm going to put everything I want to, because it's my baby, it's my project. um and when you have a team like
I
that,
can definitely second. I can definitely second that because
correct, so
yeah,
it could be.
even in my small projects, like I have one of my projects as a background on my PC,
Mm.
and when the screensaver comes up, the first thing that comes up, like I have a bunch of different pictures of different superheroes and shit that I like, but the first one that comes up is one of the vehicles that I made for one of my projects. And that
Oh,
shit,
okay,
like
yeah.
I absolutely love that. Like I open it every now and then just to look at it because it looks amazing. To me, it looks amazing at least.
So as I'm saying, there's a certain level of pride in that, because it's a creation. It's not the same thing as you going, like my job. I work. I won't say where I work, but I work for insurance, and insurance is boring, guys. And in general, it's a boring product. Yeah, sure, there's some interesting stuff, but it's never something you're going to sit there and have a discussion about, because it's not that fucking interesting. It's just insurance. Um, yeah, it's what it is. I'm not creating anything. You know what I mean? And sure, there's, you have these projects to create new ideas and blah, 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 but it's not really creating anything. It's not creating something I want to create. I find this, like, I did a perfect example. I made ramen. It took me 12 hours to boil the shit out of something for 12 straight hours. And I sat there, and I was cutting things up, and it was hot. And by the time I was done, I felt like I had worked 3 days in a row. But man, did I love the fucking end result. And that's what I'm trying to say, is I feel that a lot of these crunch are, not only are they not required, but I think it's just people wanting to do it because it's what I want to do. It's my project. It's my baby. And I think that gets lost sometimes in a lot of these uh, articles. They like to talk
Well,
about the crunch. They like to talk about, hey, let's be unionized, and all this stuff. But they don't really ever like to talk about the other angle of it, where maybe
mm,
people are just okay with it. Not the extreme one, obviously. The 7 days a week for months on end. 18-hour days. That's extreme. But
right.
the other ones,
That's
you know,
actually the problem. The fact that the extreme before is almost now the norm. It's almost the expected. And for everybody that has that creative uh
drive.
want to complete, yeah, that creative drive to want to complete the project and stay in, and at the and at the expense of, well, whatever they feel like they can expense, because it's maybe not, it's not a big loss, let's say. There could be others that a big chunks of their lives are being taken out, big chunks of moment they could be spending with family, with kids, with, and socializing, or being a human basically.
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
and instead they're just being used as a resource, being burned out, and then when the company no longer needs them, which is this is the ballad of the gaming industry, you get disposed of. It doesn't matter if you put the whatever teen hours a day. When they no longer needs you, you just get thrown to the side. And with that level of low morale, like, of course people are gonna get burned out.
To add to that,
When
when you're thinking that creatively to do something, it is super draining. All right, like after a while, you can't even figure shit out anymore because you just been staring at the same thing for hours on end.
Creative people are not the burned out people. I mean, say what you will about how passionate you could be about a project, but at some points you need to get some fucking rest.
Yeah.
You need to take a break to have a clear perspective, and or to tackle a problem later on. Just step away from the desk, for a while. But the problem is that no, these companies, they want all the features, and that's another problem. We don't need all the features in the game. Yes, we want our games to be like incredible, and in the sense of immersive and the best graphics and the best story and all that. But do we really need horse balls to shrink when they're
Seriously.
cold?
No.
Like, someone spent
Seriously.
resources on doing that, and that was like completely unnecessary.
And let's be
And
real,
I
nobody's
agree.
calling that their baby.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
no,
no.
it's
That
ridiculous.
sounds like that sounds like the mid-level boss giving the low guy some bullshit job. Hey, I need you to do this, and do not stop till it's done. That's what that
And I
sounds
need
like to
this
me.
to look real, all right? I want them to shrink in the call. And you
Yes,
imagine the
I
dude
know.
just going like, are you
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
serious?
And there's a misconception that crunch happens only at the tail end of the day, and that's why I wanted us to bring the definition first, because a lot of people think that is just try to drive it home, when no, these companies, for the most part, their crunch time is their whole development time, because they are take they every time they're let's put it this way, every time they don't reach a milestone, whatever it is, they're already behind schedule, and therefore they have to crunch to get to the next, to make sure that the next milestone doesn't get delayed, because now they're running behind. So they're constantly playing catch up, instead of making the decision from the get-go that, hey, maybe it doesn't need to be this, like, unbelievable. It's
Oh
I,
no,
I
not
understand.
even that. Maybe the milestones need to be changed. Maybe it's like, hey, I know the norm is a 3-year cycle for a game, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe
Lucas
especially
Arts
now.
Things for Speed, for example, and all this series that we used to see, like, they got analyzed because of fucking course we need a game every year, for a particular franchise, and look what they have. They're dead in the water. The only thing that has been that has been there, because it is the lowest the common denominator game, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody or insult anybody, but I'm just saying, it's like, even people that are not gamers play this game, play this type of games. It's the Call of Duties and the mobile games, and for Call of Duty to be sustainable, they have to give it to like 3 or 4 different developers now, that they're constantly churning out, once.
I
And
was gonna mention sports game, but I forgot that all they do is copy paste the shit.
well,
Pretty much, yeah.
sport games are, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they just do a little iteration here. So it's not, they do have crunch time though. There's one thing, there was a piece that I read about MLB The Show, and how they, how is it that they churn out, a game, with all this stuff going every year.
Which is supposed to
And
be one of the best baseball games out there.
it is. It is. I played it. It is. Of
Mhm.
course, I don't really have a basis of comparison, but sure.
I
We'll say it's
mean,
bit.
It's probably
We'll say it is.
shit, and they're
It's
like,
I
yeah.
know I know people that actually like this kind of game, and I don't
so
the
care
the
for any sports
concept of
games too.
listen, we created the concept of crunch, right? And I feel like we should be able to tackle that. The problem with us, in general, is that we don't want to tackle it, because the way it's doing, the burning out the coal, burning out the people, it does, it works so far. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, and it'll probably destroy, a lot more lives than the ones that are gonna end up profiting, and being, and living happy, healthy lives because of it.
mhm.
But it doesn't matter, because there's always gonna be the next fool that is gonna walk into into the industry, thinking, oh, I'm just gonna do things different, and they're gonna be like, well, yeah, sit down in that cubicle and crunch your way into this because we need to hit this milestone by the next, the next couple of weeks, and
Yeah, but it's
that's the
also
problem.
true. True. It's a problem in big corporations like that. But I would argue that there are indie developers out there who are spending way more time, than a lot of these corporate guys, and there's no one telling them to do it. You know what I mean? They're
Mm.
doing it because it's their passion, right? It's the thing that they want to get out. I think Super Giant Games, perfect example. These guys, it's like what 10 of them, and they're there all the time. Putting the guys who made Hades, the guys who made um, fuck, I can't think of the other names of the games,
Oh
but
yeah, Bastion and
Bastion, thank you, yeah.
Transistor.
Transistor. Yep.
Yeah,
This is a team of I think it's like 8 or 10 people. And their game their games are really gorgeous for just being 8 or 10 people. But the point is that they're putting in that time, and there's no one telling them to. They're
Yeah, but at
independent.
that point, it's a very personal thing, though. You're
That's
not
what
you're
I'm
not
saying.
you're not
What I'm
doing
trying to
horse
say.
balls for somebody.
True,
You're making and creating your own thing.
but
So
you
I
can
true,
guess
make
but
you can
you
burn yourself as an indie though. Look what happens to the guy that created Shovel Knight. I mean, he created Shovel Knight, an amazing feat, an amazing game, but it took a toll and a big one. If you read I know you
mhm.
have read what's it called? Something with pixels. What's it called?
blood, sweat, and pixels.
Pixels. Yes, thank you. You'll see that a lot of these
That's
indie devs, it wasn't easy for them just because they didn't have a big company behind them.
no, no, no.
No,
And I didn't say it was
nobody's
easy.
saying that it's
No, I don't
easy.
say it easy. No, what I'm trying to say is that they didn't have a big company forcing them to do this. This was coming from themselves. And it wasn't coming from themselves other than the fact that, again, it was the drive. It was their own personal drive to say this is what I need to do to get this thing out. So what I'm trying to say is I feel that you have a lot of indie teams out there and that are probably doing as much, if not more, crunch because it's this or bust. You know what I'm saying? You have these games like this either makes us money or we're screwed. The company's done. You know what I mean? And probably happens way more than we even know. Because God knows how many freaking we see how many games do we see coming out just every week. 90% of them I've never even heard of from a company I've never
Um,
even heard of. You
last
know what I mean?
time
It's
I
like
last time I checked, and this was a couple of years ago that I checked this number. There's an average of 300 mobile games that come out a day, and like 30 games a day on PC.
hmm And how
Wow.
many of those don't do anything? How many of those just fall through? And I guarantee you, not the ones who are, the asset flips that they try to do. Not those
Right,
guys.
right.
Those guys are just trying to fucking
You got
make a
yeah, got
quick
to take
buck.
into
Yeah,
consideration. There's a lot of those that
yeah,
are just
correct,
garbage.
correct. But you have a lot of people who are trying to really try to make something out there and do something amazing, and they're putting in probably again because they have no choice. This is the road they chose, and there's nothing wrong with the road. It's a passion. It's a road that they chose to do, and it's going to take them 18-hour days and all this stuff, and they're doing this on their own, and then for nothing because the project it may be a great game, but it gets lost in the shuffle on Steam or lost in the shuffle on PSN or wherever else. You know what I mean? Because no one has ever heard of the team, no one's ever seen the game.
God, that almost makes me want to cry.
That's the reality. So we can look at the big company, right? We can look and say, hey, these guys, but are they doing anything different than the rest of the independents are doing? Probably not. The difference is, hey, we want you to do this. The difference in the independent side, they go, hey, we need to do this. This is just what it requires, look, we listened to Masters of Doom. That's what fucking Carmack and the other guy did all the time, and it was just normal. Nobody was expecting it. It was just, hey, that's what we did. They sat there and programmed for hours upon hours until they got this shit right.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is to say that there's two angles to it. It's not always, yes, there are evil corporations, and yes, they do they do shady shit like this, but it's not always that. And I feel sometimes that gets lost in the messaging.
Well, all I gotta say is that all I'm taking away from this is it's like everything else. It's like crunch is not necessarily always a bad thing, and I get that, but at some point you can't just abuse people.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a, it that over reliance, on it will burn. It will burn people out. It's like it's like revving the motor on full for too long. At some point that thing that's just gonna blow.
Yeah, you're
And
right. At some point, yeah.
you could, if you need those boosts, like I understand you needing those, those boosts every now and then, because something's behind, or there is a particular feature that is crucial to the game. It's crucial to the game. It has to have it. It's a need. They usually, these things go, okay, this game's gonna have all these features, and then they start dividing. Okay, this is essential, this is essential, this might not, this could be optional if we have time, or maybe we can make this DLC or whatever. uh and if they need for to do crunching for that, it's the game industry, just like every other, just like the movie industry, just like other entertainment industry. There are going to be times that you are going to be expected to work over, over the time that you normally work.
Mhm.
And depending on your arrangement, if you're salaried and you accepted that position and that's what you're getting paid, then yeah, it is
Expectations, hell yeah.
part, yeah, it is part of the expectations. What is not part of the expectation is 100 hour weeks, just because, just for either bragging rights, or because I feel sometimes that some of these creative minds at the gaming studios, they brag about that. Remember that 100 hour work week thing came from one of the things that
Rockstar, yeah,
one of the
Rockstar
people from
article.
Rockstar mentioned. Yeah. And stuff like that. That's success. That should not be. That should never be. Crunch should never have been normalized. But just like everything else, crunch being the slippery slope that it is, it gets abused to the point
Mhm.
where now you're kind of expected to. It's normal not to see your spouse, for days on end because
For weeks on
I'm
end, yeah.
working on the game for weeks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
you can tell by the time that lawsuit happened back in the day of the EA spouses. Google it so you can read on it if you guys don't know about it. You could tell that things have just gotten exponentially worse than that now.
Mhm.
It's just that now it's the norm. It's what we
It's
have
yeah, it's expected.
indoctrinated
Mhm.
the people to expect. So
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to an awesome episode 205. I hope you guys enjoyed the topic. It may be a little bit more serious than summer for the times that we're in, but I felt it was a necessary one, and I think we kind of we got a lot out of it. I think.
yeah.
As always, guys, please go to goodgame.tech, join the conversation there, and of course,
Dot
please.
rocks. Good game. Dot rocks.
Holy crap!
That's
I
right.
haven't said .tech in a long time.
There
Thank you,
you go.
sir, for catching me. Thank you so much. Dot rocks, good game. Dot rocks. Join the conversation there. And again, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast. One thing I want to kind of shout out here at the end is I want to just quickly say, if you have the opportunity, such as many of us who are able to work at home and stuff like that, then obviously you want to eat your food, eat everything you have, but do take some time to because there's a lot of businesses out there that are struggling at the moment, and just go out and maybe order something from them. Obviously, you can't eat there because most places are just either delivering or it's pickup, but it'll help that business. We did that here with a pizza joint that's nearby that we always kind of frequented, and we just kind of did it there, and then a couple other places. But it helps out. Obviously, little things like that can help out if you can. Obviously, if you're one of the ones who are not working, then hey, manage what you got to manage. But if you do and you feel you have a little extra, then and try to help out. So well, this is Mad Dog signing off for this week. Mr. Chaos Reaper.
Well, crunch is not always bad, guys. No, I'm just kidding. At some point, no, I do want to say that the second that I get to experience anything like that, I will reconvene you guys to like guide me through the right path. And what the hell am I supposed to do here?
Sir, we're here for you.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
I will take us home, and I will ask that you please stay home. Do not go visit friends or family members right now. This is not the time. Use technology. We have other ways, like we're doing right now ourselves. We are all in each other's bunkers, doing this podcast, and there are ways to go around this. This is not going to last forever. It's just gonna last as long as you make it last. So
Well said.
definitely respect the when they tell you to stay home.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. GG!